For the past month, the Houston Aeros have played like the team everyone expected. Problem is, they've been playing catch-up with the Atlanta Knights and just can't seem to get over the playoff hump. Head-to-head, they own Atlanta, but you can't play them every night. It's the rest of the league that stands in their way. Tonight, the worst enemy possible. The Orlando Solar Bears claw their way into the Summit. Saturday Night on Ice is next.
From the Summit in Houston, Texas, it's Saturday Night on Ice. Tonight, a very important Central Division battle as the Aeros take on the Orlando Solar Bears in live International Hockey League action. Very pleasant good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Summit. I'm Adam Gordon. The Aeros taking on the Orlando Solar Bears. It's a home-and-home series, and you look at the standings in the Central Division, it's a very important matchup. Aeros 7 points back of the Atlanta Knights, who host the Michigan K-Wings in the Omni tonight. So it's another one of those big 4-point nights for the Houston Aeros. Mike Greenlay, the Aeros had a couple of 2-goal leads last night against the Michigan K-Wings, and that was all spurred by the play of Marc Freer.
Well, Marc Freer had a great game last night, leading the Aeros with 2 goals. It's the 3rd time this season he has had 2 goals in one game, and the Aeros are going to need him to continue his strong play.
You talk about strong offensive play. Offense is the middle name of the Orlando Solar Bears, and you can talk about 2 of the best in Hubie McDonough and Craig Fisher.
Well, these 2 guys can really hurt you where it can hurt you the most, and that's on the scoreboard. Fisher has 13 points against the Aeros, 7 of them goals. Hubie McDonough has scored 3 goals against the Aeros in the 3 games he's played against them, and you might see Hubie McDonough on the line with Fisher since Beaufait's out of the lineup tonight.
In goal for the Solar Bears, it'll be Alan Bester, which will be the Aeros' first look at Bester since way back at the start of the year.
Well, Alan Bester had a short stint with the Dallas Stars in the NHL, and he got back February 20th. Since then, he is 2-2 and playing very well. Look for him to have a strong game tonight.
And Grant Sjerven will be making a start breaking Gamble's 10-game streak in starting games. It's time for Oshman's Game Plan, brought to you by Oshman Supersports USA. It's Aeros Stock night, so dancing must be the theme.
It is. Do the bump is the first key, and that is hit. We need to hit the Orlando Solar Bears, slow them down a bit. They have a propensity of scoring goals. Second, do the hustle. You got to work hard and win those little battles along the boards in both zones. And third, do the groove thing. If you talk about getting into the groove, specialty teams is a place to do it.
Specialty teams will be huge. The Aeros were 0 for 5 on the power play, and Michigan had a couple of power play goals last night. When we return, we'll visit with Dave Tippett right after this.
UPN 20's Saturday Night on Ice is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, by Columbia Healthcare Partners, by Chrysler Plymouth, by Dodge, by Jeep Eagle, and by Whataburger.
Welcome back to the Summit. Mike Greenley with Dave Tippett, head coach of the Houston Aeros. And Dave, last night, twice, you had 2 goal leads, but somehow it slipped away from you.
Yeah, it was a situation where we came out and played pretty well in the first period, but you know, Kalamazoo kept coming at us, and they worked very hard, and we gave up you know, a couple goals in the power play that hurt us. But you know, we've talked about that. Hopefully, rectified the problem, get out and get a win tonight.
Will we see Sylvain Turgeon tonight in the lineup?
No, I don't think he will. He's we've talked about him, and he's in a situation with his shoulder the way it is. It's pretty tender, and you know, I'd like to get him back in there, but there's a chance that you know, he could re-injure it and then be out for an extended period of time. So we don't want to take a chance right now.
We will see Grant Sjerven tonight. First time in about a month. Some thoughts on that?
Well, Grant, you know, he's played very well before Gams got in there, and Gams actually played so well I wouldn't let him in. And he had a great week of practice, and you know, with 3 games and 3 nights here, and especially the one tomorrow afternoon, I felt like we had to get him in one of the games. And I woke up this morning, it was just a hunch that I had that tonight was the game, and he'll go out and do a great job for us tonight.
Real quickly here, do you have to revamp the power play at all, or is it just some little things that they aren't doing properly?
Well, no, it's probably a little bit of everything. You know, we worked on it quite a bit this week, and the old saying goes, the more you work on it, you know, the guys get thinking too much. So we talked a little bit about it today, and hopefully we'll just get doing the things that we talked about doing and take it from there.
Okay, well, I hope those tie-dyed shirts will help mesmerize the other team a little bit tonight.
Yeah, they're pretty wild-looking uniforms. Hopefully they'll work tonight.
All right, thank you very much, and we'll be back to the Summit right after this.
the Summit, everybody. Along with Mike Greenlay, Adam Gordon with you as the Aeros taking on the Orlando Solar Bears. And I'll tell you, the Aeros looking to try and get back into the winning column after falling 4-3 last night to the Michigan K-Wings. And you know, the Aeros had a terrific outing in the first period, but let it slip away in the final 2 periods. In goal tonight for the Houston Aeros, it'll be Grant Sjerven making his first start since back on February 2nd against the Fort Wayne Comets. And for him, hopefully, another win. On the other side, Alan Bester, who comes in. He is 2-2 in his starts after returning from the Dallas Stars and trying to snap a 3-game losing skid for the Orlando Solar Bears. Dave Tippett, 11-7-3, and has his hands full going down the stretch with just 18 regular season games remaining. Trying to solve the enigma at home, trying to find out how to win at home. Opening face-off is won by the Aeros. They'll move it from right to left, and it's Gord Donnelly who shoots the puck into the Orlando zone. Do not adjust your sets. No, the color is not off. You're looking at the Aeros in their tie-dye uniforms. For Aeros stock 2. Puck is controlled by Miles O'Connor. He'll rip the puck into the Orlando zone. McDonough goes back, gives to Todd Richards, and up ice they'll come. McDonough centering a line with Dave Barr and also Craig Fisher out there. Puck goes into the zone. Actually, it's John LeBlanc rather who's out there, not Fisher. Now the puck shot out at center ice, and the Solar Bears will regroup, put it into the Aero zone. Here's McDonough, top of the slot, fakes the shot, sends one behind Dave Barr. Gobbled up, it was centered, but the Aeros were there. Marc Freer moving left side, getting out at center ice. Freer dumped it into the Orlando zone. Bester lets it go back, and Brad Tiley will take over. A minute gone by in the first, and it's Neil Eisenhut for Orlando. Scooped it into the Aero zone. It goes all the way down to Grant Sjerven, and he will cover up and hold on. You want to hear an interesting stat? How about this one, Greener? The Orlando Solar Bears coming into tonight's road game 17-1-2 in their last 20 road games.
Well, we saw that stretch a little while ago where they really had a long stretch of wins on the road and at home, and they certainly are a tough team on the road as well as at home. And I tell you what, great work by the head coach of Fraser, and he's done a great job with his team. It's really, it's not that rare to see, but a lot of times a team that's thrown together in the summertime as an expansion team, it's tough to really get a team that can really make a mark like Orlando has, and they really have. He's done a great job. These guys have really formed a heck of a strong team.
Face-off will be to the top of the fire circle. Paul Dipietro comes out to take the draw. 3 games in 3 nights, and Dave Tippett, he'll be the first to tell you he doesn't like him. The players will be right there with him. 3 games in 3 nights really taxes you, and you'll never see it in the NHL, but the IHL wants to get those weekend dates, and I don't have as much a problem with that, but I think they still got to find a way to curtail the 3 in 3 nights. Puck is back into the Orlando zone, and it's played there defensively by Mark Ferner. Pass out at center ice. Duncanson shoots the puck into the Aero zone. Kerry Clark pursues. It's picked up. Eisenhut centered one. That went off the skates of Laniel and Sylvain Turgeon. You heard Dave Tippett say he wasn't going to play, but Mike Maurice is a late scratch, so I don't know what the story is with Maurice. Hopefully we can get an update for you. Or maybe he just had a change in putting Turgeon out there. Sylvain Turgeon, base of the right circle, pushed it out in front. Duncanson tipped it away, cleared out at center, and back to play it. It's Marc Laniel drifting back to his own blue line. Jaques gives to Turgeon, and now it's Dipietro. Snapped it back. That is offsides. They'll bring the face-off out at center with 2 minutes gone by in this first period in a scoreless hockey game. So Sylvain Turgeon, as we said, he has had clavicle problems on his shoulder there and wasn't expected to play. They wanted to give him the weekend to heal, and then it would give him a little more time to heal because the Aeros wouldn't play again until Thursday in Atlanta. But evidently something has either happened to Mike Maurice or Dave Tippett just had a gut feeling and wants to go with Sly tonight.
Well, maybe Tippett thinks he needs that extra little bit of scoring. Turgeon is the 3rd leading scorer on the Aeros with 18 goals, 26 assists in his 48 games. Like you said, he's missed the last 10 of the last 13 games for the Aeros, and maybe he thought it was time to get him back in the lineup. Even if it is just spotty playing here and there, I think he wants to get him skating again.
Here's Kelly Hurd along the left side, drops one out in front. Shot is blocked, and it's right back out at center, and Gord Kruppke chases back to play. Bangs it out of the zone, but it came right back in. Kruppke scooped it ahead, and here come the Aeros. Lamb with Conroy and Hurd. Down the right side. Lamb pushed over the line. It was offsides, and they'll bring the face-off right back to center ice with 17:41 to go.
here in Aeros Stock 2. We've got Major Jones and the Flyboys tonight. And we've got the Blues Brothers, all kinds of great things happening.
There's the man, Marc Lamb, who leads the team in points with 59. He has 2 goals, 11 assists for 13 points in his last 10. You know, he quietly comes along and really leads this team well and really puts some points up on the board. You see him on the power play, usually on the point, and that's where he gets a lot of his assists.
Only once has he gone back-to-back games without a point. Puck is in the Orlando zone. It's shot out at center. Hurlbut trying to get it out of the zone. Fisher pursues, but there is Gord Kruppke for Houston. Rolling along the fireboards, and Lamb will scamper to center. It's 2-on-2. Conroy hits the line. Conroy down the right side. He centered a pass, but Dreger got a stick on it. Back along the boards. Kruppke trying to hold it in. Cannot do it. And it's right back to neutral ice with 3 minutes gone by in the first. Still no score. Hurlbut sends one over to the far side. Kruppke, but there's Barry Dreger to take over. Dreger, who played last year for Don Waddell in San Diego, who's of course the general manager here for the Orlando Solar Bears. He cleared the puck ahead. Now Dipietro off to the races, but couldn't get there. Todd Richards trying to move it ahead. Battle for the puck. Turgeon's in there, trying to wrestle for it, and the puck shot away, and now Turgeon moves up ice. Here comes Turgeon across the line, trying to drop it. The wrist shot went wide of the net. Jumped on, Laniel shoots. It's blocked by Tiley, and the Solar Bears will move it up ice. Tiley a pass out at center for Duncanson. He bounced it into the Aeros zone. Sjerven comes out to play. He'll reverse it far side, and Turgeon will move it up ice. Sylvain Turgeon back after shoulder problems. He's had him off and on this year. He was out, you might remember, about 4 weeks because of shoulder problems. A shot right on, and Pester makes the save, and the puck is cleared out at center. Kerry Clark, right side, shoots it in, and Sjerven will glove it and drop it in behind. Here's a puck roll to the near side for Mike Yeo. He'll move the puck up and out at center. Back to play is Jaques. Steve Jaques in his own zone. Gives the puck to Laniel. Laniel left side. Got it at center. And now it is a 2-line pass to Freer. That's blown dead, and there's a timeout on the ice. We will do the same. 15:50 to go in the first. We're scoreless from the Summit. This is Saturday night on ice.
Welcome back to the Summit. No score here as there's 15:50 remaining in this first period. The Solar Bears 3-1 unofficially on shots on goal. Dave Tippett's got his team playing really well, but the Aeros still struggling a little bit at home. As you said, a bit of an enigma.
Yes. Puck is shot into the Orlando zone by Miles O'Connor. It's turned away by the Solar Bear defense. Along the left side, it's Mark Ferner. Can't clear the zone. Townshend, Luke to Freer. Trying to feather one for Scott Arniel. Bumped along the boards by good friend and fellow opponent now, Hubie McDonough. Tell you what, there was, you talk about Freer and Arniel as a 1-2 punch. There was no better 1-2 punch in San Diego with Arniel and Hubie McDonough. That was huge. It's Dave Barr, coughed the puck up. Arniel's got Freer in front center. Freer shoots, and he scooped it just wide of the cage. Now it is Townshend in the corner, tipped away by McDonough. McDonough moves it up the boards, and then, Kruppke. There's that Donnelly. That's Donnelly that stepped in and lowered the boom. You'll have to pardon me as I struggle with the numbers a little bit, trying to pick them up in these tie-dye sweaters. In across the line, the Solar Bears. Dave Barr to the slot, gives the pass. Its shot is blocked. It came to the near side, and Freer will turn. Mark Freer pushed it out at center. The Solar Bears are there. McDonough turned it back, and Pat Neaton has got it. Pass came out at center. Here come the Solar Bears. John Leblanc. In across the line it goes, and Hurlbut chases back to play. Gord Kruppke, right wing boards. Pass not out. Fisher held it in. Second effort came out at neutral ice. Now the Aeros bring it up ice. Kelly Hurd right side. Hits stops on a dime. Now gets sent as he wide shoots, and a save made by Bester. Puck loose in front. Here's Hurd ready to go. Shoots, and he fired it wide. Great chance there. Puck again picked up by Orlando. They've got a 4-on-2. Alfie Turcotte across the line, but he geeked and dazzled and did all that one too many times, and he threw his teammates off sides, and the face-off will come back to center with 14:11 to go in the first. No score.
I tell you what, Gord Donnelly comes up with a huge hit. We talked about something, and that was doing the bump. And Donnelly just lays 2 of the Orlando Solar Bears on the ice. You know what? Next time those 2 guys step up to the blue line or try and get out of their zone, they'll be having their head up a little more as Donnelly lays down Leblanc, and it looked like it might have been Hubie McDonough as well, as they both went down to the ice in a heap.
We'll have to call Gord Kruppke, Dr. Kruppke. Take 2 Solar Bears and call me in the morning.
Yeah, take them down.
That's right. No water on that one. He didn't even need to crush him with jam. I still do.
Here's the puck in the Aero zone. It's picked up by the Solar Bears. Frederick. Joe Frederick trying to move it. He was bumped off the puck, and Conroy is there. Conroy moved it ahead, and the Arrows are out at center. Lamb couldn't find a handle, though, and Hurlbut goes back to play in his own zone. Mike Hurlbut, a pass out at center, and Lamb turns it up ice. Quick pass, Conroy, right side and across the line. He'll give to Lamb, right in, wait, shoots. It was deflected by Turcotte. He had Kelly hurt on the doorstep, but couldn't get it to him. Solar Bears played it pretty well. Frederick the other way, and across the line, trying to move around Hurlbut, not going to happen. Jumped on by Pat Neaton for Orlando. Got it down, Fisher. Drake Fisher in the corner to the left side of Sjerven. Trying to move it along the boards. Frederick got it down for Eisenhut. Gives to Fisher. Off his stick, they battle for it. And it's Al Conroy who will take it away and steer it for Kelly Hurd. And Kelly will just meander it right back to center ice. 13:10 to go in this first period. Scoreless from the summit. Puck in Arrows territory. It was cleared by Hurlbut, but blasted back into the Arrows zone. Sjerven comes out to slow, and Hurlbut will play behind the net. Yo. Long lead pass at center, misses everybody. This will go down the ice. They'll wave off the icing. Tiley goes in there to play it as he had Turgeon on him, and it's taken away by Dipietro. Right side, Jaques shoots. Stick save made by Bester. Rebound picked up by Orlando. They'll scamper to center. Terry Clark. Pass for Todd Richards, jumping up on the play. And those are the key words when you say jumping up on the play. A lot of their defensemen, especially Todd Richards, they love to be that extra forward jumping up in a rush. Here come the Arrows. It is Turgeon. He'll whine, rip a shot, and that puck goes out of play, and we'll take a timeout. It's scoreless from the summit, and you're enjoying Saturday Night on Ice. Diamond Cutters International and the Houston Aeros are proud to present the $1 Million Puck. It's a hockey puck made out of platinum and completely covered with 171 carats of pure white diamonds and 4 carats of emerald. You can win it at select Aeros home games this season. One fan will be chosen to take a shot on goal to win the $1 Million Puck. You got to see it to believe it, and you can. It's on display at the summit at all Houston Aeros home games. That's the $1 Million Puck brought to you by Diamond Cutters International.
To believe I had that thing in my hand and didn't make a run for it.
Well, you did. You put it in your pocket, and the security guard was looking at you. He was ready to come right on over the television camera and grab you.
Thought he was going to pull his 6-shooter out.
And if he couldn't grab you, I would have had you anyway. You weren't going to get through me. Obstruction interference to me. Puck is picked up by the Arrows. Here's Miles O'Connor. Got it up and out at center, and the Arrows are up ice. It's Freer. Here's a penalty coming up to the Solar Bears. Quick shot by Freer. Hooked wide of the net. Townsend jumped on it. Townsend's going to be the one that draws a penalty to Dave Barr. He's knocked off the puck again. Now O'Connor right side. Extra attacker for Houston. Winding, shooting, puck deflected. Graeme came in there, but was finally tipped away by a Solar Bear. And a holding minor to Dave Barr, or is it going to be Leblanc? It's going to be John Leblanc, actually, who will go to the box for holding, and the Arrows will be on the power play.
Well, actually give credit, a lot of credit to Graeme Townsend on that last play, because he made a great little chip pass. He actually lifted the stick, and then Leblanc drags down Townsend, who would have had a 2-on-1 because he actually had a step on Leblanc, and that's why he had to haul him down. I don't know if you can actually call that one of those good penalties, but it is a penalty nevertheless. The Arrows will have a chance to make good on what they didn't last night, and that is a power play opportunity.
Yeah, quite frankly, Dave Tippett talked about the specialty teams as being the one thing that really hurt them. They were 0 for 5 on the power play last night, but they were also they allowed 2 power play goals. So
in 5 chances, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. I think specialty teams are going to be a key. And hey, that was one of our keys. Do the groove thing.
There you go. and really, when you're talking about specialty teams, Orlando power play is very potent also, so discipline kind of plays a factor.
Number 1 in the league.
Yep. Puck is in the Houston Aeros zone. Sjerven wanted to play it. He got it through Joyce. Eisenhut digs it out away from Lamb. Battle for it. Dipietro comes in there to loosen it along the boards, and then it was back into the scrum. And the Solar Bears accomplished part of their plan here as they've got the puck frozen, and that'll keep the face-off in the Houston zone. It'll come to the left side of Grant Sjerven.
You know, it's all about taking advantage, and especially coming down the stretch here, you want your specialty teams going, and that's what's going to make or break it for you. Even if you make it to the playoffs, that's what's going to make it for you in the playoffs. Or your specialty teams, you have to take advantage of teams when you have an extra man. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be big. This is a big power play for the Arrows.
Off the face-off, Arrows have the puck. It is Marc Lamb in behind the net. He'll send it over to Paul Dipietro, and the Arrows are up ice. Dipietro's pass for Lamb. He'll move it out of the zone, but the Solar Bears were there trying to advance it. Bob Joyce turns, and he'll just shoot it into Houston Aero territory. Out is Mike Hurlbut.
He'll play the puck from behind his net. Long pass out at center for Al Conroy. Gives to Yo. Hits the line with Conroy and Dipietro, but that was knocked away by Eisenhut. He'll shoot it right back down the ice. Sjerven comes out to play it, and he'll quickly fling one up and out at center. Here come the Aeros. Lamb, nice move, hits the line, winding, shooting. The puck was deflected by Neaton. Right side, Yo, trying to move the puck around. It was knocked away by Dipietro, but it's 2-on-1, shorthanded. Here come the Solar Bears. Neaton in on goal. He will turn behind the net, but can't find a man to pass to. Now Neaton getting set, sends it over the pass, knocked away by Conroy. Pat Neaton couldn't find an angle to get the pass away, and the Aeros were able to clamp down on it, and the puck is shot the length of the ice. It will not be icing, but Orlando's there to play it.
Just a great play by Hurlbut on that play. Good defensive play, forcing the Orlando Solar Bears to go around the net. They had a 2-on-1, got no shot.
34 seconds left in the Aero power play. Laniel dumped the puck into the Orlando zone. Aeros pick it up. It's Turgeon, right side on the man advantage. Turgeon cuts back to the right point. Here's Jaques, one-time shot, right on Bester, save. Alan Bester was there as Marc Freer tried to tuck that thing safely to sleep, but Bester will hold on and keep it scoreless halfway through the first.
We talk so much about positioning, and Marc Freer lately has really found the right position. Jaques takes a good hard slap shot, and Bester has to make a good pad save. Look at Freer right on the porch there, trying to jam away at it. I tell you what, that's why he has been so successful lately, because he's getting his nose dirty. He's really into the play. He's chopping away at pucks that are loose. He's getting a lot of goals because of it. A good save by Bester and covering that up, because I tell you what, Freer's hungry for some more goals.
Face off in the circle to the left side of Alan Bester. 21 seconds remaining in the Houston power play. Freer, Arniel, and Turgeon with Laniel and Jaques. Marc Laniel rolls the puck to Steve Jaques at a right point. Tossed it down to Turgeon. Sylvain Turgeon lost the puck, and here come the Orlando Solar Bears. It is Hughie McDonough across the line. McDonough cuts in center. Richards shoots, scores! Todd Richards, 5-hole on Sjerven, I believe. It's a shorthanded goal, and Orlando jumps out to a 1-0 lead.
Well, Todd Richards is a kind of defenseman. As you said, a lot of the Orlando defensemen like to jump up into the play. Todd Richards is 4th in the league for defensemen in scoring. He has 55 points. That's his 16th goal of the year as a defenseman. He jumps right up on the play. It's a good passing play. Finally, he'll get it, and Sjerven just didn't lay that pad down quick enough as McDonough makes a good little pass, and it hits right on the tape. A one little shot right between the legs of Sjerven, and what a great goal by Richards. And Leblanc in the box, he says, hey, I'll take a penalty any day if my team's going to score those kind of goals. Orlando so far this year has make that 11 shorthanded goals for.
And the penalty is now over, and an icing call coming up to the Houston Aeros, and they'll bring the face-off back down into the Aero zone. Looked like Sjerven just couldn't get that pad down in time, and he played it okay.
Well, the thing is, Sjerven was out on the top of his crease to take McDonough. McDonough made a good pass that went right on the stick of Richards, and Richards didn't wait. He made one move and then put it 5-hole. He didn't hold on to it a long time, so Sjerven coming back into his net, dropped to his knees, and by then he dropped back too far in his net and just didn't have a lot of time to react. It was a good play, short-handed for the Orlando Solar Bears, and they lead it 1-0.
Face-off will be in the circle to the right side of Grant Sjerven. It'll be a face-off controlled by Orlando. Left side, a pass centered. Here's Dave Barr, cuts in with a shot. It hits skates, loose in front. Aeros trying to get it out of there. Dave Barr again, getting set. It was Ferner back to the line. He was bumped by Kelly Hurt. It's held in by Barr. Moving down the right side, chopped by Lamb. It came behind the cage. McDonough to Barr, behind the net, trying to center one. He gives the puck to Leblanc. The drive, blocked. Here's McDonough. Great left pad save made by Sjerven. So the kid comes right back with a nice left pad save, and the Aeros have got it. Behind the net, Lamb. He'll steer it to Kelly Hurt. 9 minutes to go in the first, a 1-0 hockey game. The Solar Bears lead it on a shorthanded goal. It is Marc Ferner. He has the puck in his own zone for the Solar Bears. He'll circle back and play it. Ferner to McDonough. Had it chipped away by Dipietro, and Conroy's up ice. Conroy to Dipietro, coming down the right side, makes the move, in on goal! Stopped by Bester, rebound! Hit the side of the net. Here's a chance in, good, but it was tipped away, and the Solar Bears are up ice. Joe Frederick up with Dwayne Joyce on the rush, and it was tipped away by Hurlbut. Nice play there. Dipietro over skates, but Hurlbut's there. Hurlbut right side for Houston, shoots the puck into the Orlando zone. Mike Yo will play. Yo behind the cage, centered, but it was tipped away. Aeros trying to come up with it. Yo, right wing board. Yo for Sylvain Turgeon. tipped it into an open corner. Turcotte goes to play it. It's Alfie Turcotte for Orlando to Dwayne Joyce. He'll spank it along the boards. It'll go all the way back into Houston Aero territory. Icing is indicated. Hurlbut will play and we'll take timeout. 8:01 to go in the first. The Solar Bears lead it 1-0. And we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to the Summit. Orlando leads it 1-0 on a shorthanded goal, but Dipietro comes right back and tries to make it 1-1. Looked a little bit like Bobby Orr there, trying to fly through the air and score the goal. The only difference is he's wearing a tie-dye shirt, and it's not the Stanley Cup playoffs. Sjerven at the other end made a great save there in thwarting Hubie McDonough again in front of the net. So a lot of action on both ends.
I can't wait to tell Paul Dipietro you compared him to Bobby Orr. That's pretty good. Puck is controlled by Houston. Conroy trying to move through skaters, can't do it. Puck back to the line, and Kruppke again trying to move up on that point. Save made by Bester. Slivchenko crushed by Neaton in the corner. Puck came right out to Lamb, centered, and Neaton slides over and falls on top of it. So Pat Neaton makes a great play, sliding in front of Marc Lamb, and he prevents Lamb from either shooting or passing, and it's a dead play. 7:29 to go in the first. Orlando leads it on a Todd Richards short-handed goal, 1-0.
Well, it certainly was a good defensive play by Neaton. He actually was behind the net, and he came out and really covered up for himself. Actually, he might have even covered up for his other defenseman as he comes sliding out, and Lamb had picked up his head and was actually looking for Slivchenko again on the back door, but Neaton comes out and does his best impression of a Zamboni and slides out, covers the puck up, and holds on as the Aeros seem to be putting a little more pressure on, which is good.
What is it with you tonight? Are you metaphoric? Everything's a metaphor tonight. We got Bobby Orr out there, and we got a Zamboni out there.
Oh, it's a real mess. It's Aerostock night.
I think you're doing color commentary, but we got plenty in the jerseys.
Oh, what are you talking about? Those are their regular jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
There must be something wrong with don't adjust your sets.
Yeah, don't adjust my eyes, right? Puck is out at center, and the Aeros have got it. Ooh, Jaques fell down. Kerry Clark jumps on it. Clark called down, but no call. Here come the Aeros the other way. Slivchenko hits the line. Slivchenko, quick shot, stuck aside by Bester. Handcuffed him a little bit. Now pinching down the right side, Jaques. He was shouldered off the puck by the Solar Bears. Craig Duncanson, and here they come the other way. Eisenhut across the line with Clark, and that is offside. They'll bring the face-off right back to neutral line. 7:03 to go in the first. Orlando leads at 1-0. Kerry Clark, yeah, his brother is Wendell Clark, who plays for the New York Islanders. He's also got another brother, Don Clark, who is in Saskatoon. But you know who their cousin is? Barry Melrose.
And Clark, in un-Clark-like fashion, trips over the blue line there as he actually was waiting to go across the blue line, but the other forward who was carrying the puck, I think it was Eisenhut, actually went over and then dropped back, went over, and by that time Clark didn't know what to do, so he tried to put the brakes on and he fell right over and went offside.
They're, just to finish up, they're all from Melfort, Saskatchewan. Barry Melrose and the Clark family. So, all part of the family. Pretty talented family if you got Melrose and Clark. Puck is offsides and face-off comes to center.
Find a lot of players coming from those prairie states and Saskatchewan and Alberta and Manitoba even. Marc Lamb actually is from Saskatchewan. So it must be good breeding up there for hockey players.
A lot of great action at home coming up for the Houston Aeros. They will play the Orlando Solar Bears again. In fact, tonight's game wraps up a little bit of a homestand. They'll go away on the road for a little bit, then come back, play Orlando on Friday the 15th, and back-to-back games against the Indianapolis Ice. I would venture a guess by the time Indianapolis gets into town, we'll have at least a little clearer picture of the Aeros playoff run. Here's a puck in the Orlando zone. McDonough turns, flipped it up the boards, looking for John Leblanc down the left side, hits the line, wide, shoots. Sjerven a blocker save. Miles O'Connor trying to gather it in. The puck came out in front. Townsend will try to clear. Graeme Townsend swats it up the boards, can't clear. Drive by Joyce, right on. Sjerven save, rebound, trickle just wide of the net, and it's picked up by Freer and cleared to center. Graeme Townsend to Scott Arniel, in across the line, trying to get around Mark Ferner, cannot do it. In there fighting for the loose puck, the Aeros trying to get in there. Townsend pushing and shoving and grinding. But it is Dave Barr that is there right side. Out at center for Hubie McDonough. Hits the blue line. McDonough cutting in, centered! Shot blocked by Sjerven, what a save there. And it's picked up by Townsend. Townsend in behind the net. He'll clear one to the near side, and Arniel banks it through the neutral zone, and Barry Dreger will play it. Dreger for Orlando. Cranks one into Aero territory. Kellyhurst waits for it along the near wall. He's got Alfie Turcotte on him. Couple of 10s battling in the corner. I don't know, does that mean they're perfect 10s? Probably. Here's a puck out at center. Marc Lamb, right side, Conroy across the line. Conroy moving in. He looks for Kellyhurst. He centered it, but Neaton got a piece of it. Conroy again. Back to the line. Hurlbut. Wide shoots deflected away by Lamb. It carried him to the corner for Dreger. And the Solar Bears are out at center. 2-on-2. The Aeros are back, though. Here's Neaton. Shoots, and the puck is deflected out of play. I'll tell you, that's good for Kellyhurst getting back. It shows how good the Aeros forechecking is when they get everybody back. It's 1-0 Orlando, and we'll have more IHL action after this.
Welcome back to the Summit. Orlando leads at 1-0. Dwayne Joyce trying to extend that lead on a good hard shot from the point. He's 15th in the league in defensive scoring, and is no mistake there as he gets a good shot on net, but Sjerven is there in that. Looked like he was stacking the pads on that one and made a good save, and the puck was cleared to the corner.
You know, Dwayne Joyce, who started that, he's kind of an interesting story. He started the year with Cincinnati. He was picked up, and he was picked up from Kansas City for future consideration. I think he's the only guy I know that was traded for future considerations or acquired for future considerations, and then he becomes the futures going back to Kansas City.
So he got traded for nobody.
Yeah, he went back to Kansas City and then was traded to Orlando for Jeff Cirkin, who's now in Kansas City. You with us? There'll be a test at the end of the night. Puck is into the Aero zone. We're going to have a penalty coming up. I believe it's to the Houston Aeros, as Joe Ernst, who was our referee last night, has a hooking call. And the #1 power play in the IHL will about go to work here.
It certainly will. The Orlando Solar Bears, on their 354 attempts, have scored 84 times. That's a 23% ratio as Freer goes to the box and sits in the box for the penalty. I wasn't sure what the call was. It might have been hooking as he got a little too much stick in the corner there, but Mark Freer will serve the first penalty for the Houston Aeros, and the Orlando Solar Bears will have the power play. You'll see McDonough out there with Leblanc, and on the left wing, of course, is Barr.
Face-off left side of Grant Sjerven. Off the face-off. It's controlled by Houston, Miles O'Connor. O'Connor to the right side, moves it up and out. No, it's held in by Orlando. Puck to the left side, Dave Barr moving down on the power play. Barr cuts in, centered one. Here's LeBlanc swatting at it. Well, missed the puck. Dave Barr, base of the left circle. Barr getting set. Worked it down for LeBlanc. In behind the net, John LeBlanc for Hubie McDonough. Right side on the hash marks, getting set. Shoots. That's blocked by none other than Mr. Gord Donnelly as he got down in front of that, and the puck is cleared.
He blocks so many shots, it's almost not a big deal anymore, but let me tell you, it is a big deal for a defenseman to get down and block a shot like that. That shows that a guy wants to win.
Here's Hubie McDonough right side across the line. McDonough trying to cut in. Puck came to the line, not out. Second effort, not out. And it's held in, and then Mike Yeo just tosses Tiley aside, and the Aeros are able to clear it. Yeo shorthanded, gives the puck to Jaques. He'll move the right side and gently dump it back into the Orlando zone. 1:03 to go on the power play for the Solar Bears. They lead it 1-0 on a shorthanded goal from Todd Richards. 4:08 to play in the first. Punch shot into the Houston zone. Joe Frederick, he's got it. Spins it along the boards. It's taken by Orlando. Back to the line. Ferner getting set, winding, shooting, and it was deflected away by Lamb. It's right back out at center. Now Lamb takes a puck away, turning it neutral ice. He'll retreat to his own blue line, kill some time off. 39 seconds remaining in the power play. Here is Lamb at his own blue line. Lamb watched by Turcotte, and a terrific job of penalty killing by Marc Lamb. Crowd appreciates that.
That's what he did in the NHL so much, was kill penalties, and you're seeing the great Marc Lamb penalty kill right now.
Power play is down to 20 seconds. Here come the Solar Bears cutting in. Turcotte right in on goal. He scores! Alfie Turcotte cut in behind the defense, beat Sjerven to the blocker side, and it's a 2-0 Solar Bear lead. It is a power play goal.
The problem is Sjerven showed his hand a little too early to Turcotte, and Turcotte's the kind of guy who skates with his head up. He has his 16th goal of the season, and he wheels in on the wing. A good job, and Sjerven goes down a little too early and just stays with it and puts a puck in the net. He sure paid the price as Kruppke nails him at the end of the play, but not before the damage was done, as Turcotte puts the Orlando Solar Bears up 2-0, one on the power play, but the first one was on shorthanded. Two specialty team goals for the Orlando Solar Bears.
And that was our third key. The specialty teams were going to be huge tonight. It is out at center. And the Aeros, Sylvain Turgeon trying to bring it up. It's picked up by Yo, who's back to play. Yo lost the puck. Here's a shot by Duncanson, and Sjerven makes the save. Eisenhut gives to Bob Joyce, rather. Joyce in the circle worked on as he and Jaques go at it a little bit. And the puck is out at center, 2-on-1. Turgeon with Dipietro. Wide, shoots, Besker, a left-hand save. Boy, I'll tell you, Turgeon cranked one there. Eisenhut with 2:50 to go in the first, and a 2-0 Orlando lead. It's pushed away by Jaques, hits the line. Jaques trying to move it in. It was knocked away by Marc. Ferner cleared it out at center, and it'll go right back down into the Houston Aero end. 2:35 to go. Yo. His pass off the skates of Dipietro and McDonough. Shoots it into Aero territory, and Marc Laniel is there. Boy, I tell you, Jaques, he finished off his check there on Hubie McDonough. Jaques, right side. Gets it for Arniel, but it's too far. It goes deep into Orlando territory. Neaton back to touch. That is an icing call. And the faceoff will be back into the Aero zone with 2:15 to go in this first period. Tonight's Shots on Goal are sponsored by Suzuki. Ask anyone who owns one. And the Aeros out shooting Orlando at this point, 10-9. But the stat that matters, it's the 2-0 hockey game. So Grant Sjerven has faced 9 shots, has stopped 7 of them.
They've been not too bad of goals. The first one, Richards got in there real quick and jammed one underneath them. And that last goal, Turcotte walked in around the defense and made a nice shot himself right inside the post. So I guess what you expect to see is great goaltending, and sometimes just a couple of good goals don't make you look that great.
Puck is in the fireboards, Aero territory. Aeros trying to loosen it up, but it's a Hubie McDonough for Orlando at the left wing boards. Back to the line. Dreger cranked one down. It's picked up by Dave Barr and Mark Freer going at it. In there, John Leblanc. He'll send it along the near side, and the Aeros take over. Miles O'Connor trying to clear it, cannot. Pat Neaton's in there. Arniel's got him worked on. Now a stuff shot by McDonough. Sjerven stopped it. Bang away at it again. Sjerven stopped that, I believe. So Grant Sjerven again comes back after giving up a goal, but makes a couple of nice saves, and he stops one of the top snipers in the IHL, and Hubie McDonough.
Hubie McDonough is on that line with Barr and looks like LeBlanc, and they're all three offensive capability. Really adds up to a lot of chances, and McDonough making no mistake as hey, if you give some guy the room, he's going to take the chance, and McDonough has room there as O'Connor finally gets back into the play and jams away at it, and the puck was right underneath Sjerven's pad, and finally as the net goes off the moorings, the whistle is blown as Ernst said, I've seen enough, but good saves by Sjerven there. 1, 2, 3.
Face off to the left side of Grant Sjerven. Off the face off. The Aeros have got it. 1:35 to play in this first period. It's been pretty well all Orlando as far as the offense is concerned. Puck is in the Orlando zone. They'll clear it out at center. Aeros sweep it back to Solibert territory where Todd Richards waits for it. Gives it up ice. Here comes Orlando, right side. Joe Frederick cutting in behind the net. Wrap around, blocked, loose puck, and Lamb was there. Mark Lamb for Houston. Gives to Conroy. Aeros cannot clear it. Turcotte knocks it in front. They bang away at a loose puck. Fisher's in there sniffing for the loose biscuit. Now it's back in front. Turcotte, who gets a power play goal earlier. His shot is deflected away. Under a minute to go in this first period. It is Brad Tiley trying to shade off the check of Al Conroy. Conroy rustles him down. Puck came into Sjerven. He made the save. Kellyard right side. Fired it up and out at center. Turcotte takes over with 43 seconds remaining in the period. Tiley in his own zone for Orlando. Fired one to the line. It was held in by Conroy, but they say the puck was hit with a high stick. 37 seconds to go in this first period, and a 2-0 lead for Orlando.
Al Conroy in his last 8 games has 3 goals and 7 assists for 10 points. You know, he's a real likable guy, and that's why he's a team captain. He's a real leader on the team. He's a guy you want to really follow. And you talk about second effort and hard work. He epitomizes both those things.
Face-off is out at center. That C means a lot of things.
It does, and he's trying to lead his team against a team that the Aeros have not beat this year. They're 0-5 against the Orlando Solar Bears and have been outscored 26-15 in those games. The Aeros are going to have to really play some defense.
Off the face-off, the Aeros have got it. Paul Dipietro will move it up ice. Dipietro through the neutral zone, shoots it into the Orlando end. Back to play it, it's Marc Ferner. Ferner clears one near side, bounced up to the line. O'Connor couldn't hold it in. It came out at center. Eisenhut gives the puck Joyce, but it was knocked away, and Turgeon moves it up ice. Sylvain Turgeon across the line. Turgeon trying to cut in, makes the move, line shoots, Bester the save. And it's picked up by Ferner with 6 seconds to go in the period. A good chance there by Turgeon, but Bester made the save. Puck is shot the length of the ice. It is icing, but it will not matter as the buzzer sounds. And this period is over. It's 2-0 Orlando. When we return, Mike Greenlay will chat with Mike Maurice. That interview is next. This is Saturday Night on Ice.
Correction, for Orlando 15, for the Aeros 10.
Welcome back to the Summit. Mike Greenlay along with left winger Mike Maurice. Mike, you're not in the lineup tonight, but give us your thoughts on that first period.
Oh, I thought we showed a lot of hustle, and we had some key turnovers that cost us there. And, you know, without those, I think we'd be up that shorthanded goal. You know, they came in, outnumbered rush. Other than that, we'd be right in this game. It seems like the guys are playing pretty hard and they're working hard. We just got a couple bounces that didn't, you know, ended up in our net.
How much do you think the Aeros are using the fact that they have to catch the Atlanta Knights as a motivation factor?
Well, that's huge motivation. I mean, you know, it's always key that if you know, wherever you are in standings, you don't look down, you look up. And right now, you know, we're in the bottom, so we're looking up, and Atlanta's closest to us, and it's kind of discouraging because, you know, we've won some big games in the last month, and you know, Atlanta's been winning themselves, and then as of late, they've been losing, and we've been losing the same game, so it's tough to make ground on them because they're playing pretty good, and you know, we just got to make sure we take care of our end and start, you know, winning our games, and then try not to worry about them so much.
You play a left wing position, and the way Dave Tippett's system works is that left wing is really a strong position on this team. And your assessment on that position, and is it a lot more difficult to play this system or easier?
It's kind of tough because, you know, a lot of times you're just hanging back. You're kind of playing a zone by yourself, and you know, you want to, with this type of game, playing hockey, you know, you play with a lot of adrenaline, so, you know, you want to jump in there and help out, but, you know, that's when you can get in trouble because this whole system relies on that left wing, and if he's not doing his job, then the whole defensive part of our game will, you know, suffer.
The other game against Chicago, you had 3 goals, but you play so many other strong games. What's the difference between playing a game where you scored 3 goals and just playing in a good game where you can't necessarily get any points?
Just bounces, you know, just having to be at the right spot at the right time, and you know, you just it actually feels easy. The game feels easy, and you're not chasing the puck. The puck's coming to you, and you know, you'd love to play those games. I wish you had those games every night, but you know, unfortunately you don't. So, you know, it's just a matter of, I don't know, basically being patient. I think you're a little more patient and letting the puck come to you as opposed to running around and you know, trying to create too much and then not getting anything done.
What do you think the Aeros have to do coming out in this second period to really get a jump back into the game?
I think we got to start taking the body, getting the puck deep in their end, because I think their weakest part of their team is their defense, and you know, they do have a strong defense. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're a first-place club, but I think we're at our best when we're getting the puck deep and working their D and out-muscling them, and then getting garbage goals, actually.
All right, well, thank you very much for spending some time with us. I hope to see you back in the lineup tomorrow night.
All right, Grader. Thanks, buddy.
All right, that was Mike Maurice, left wing for the Houston Aeros, and we'll be back to the Summit right after this.
Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. It's 2-0 the Orlando Solar Bears leading the Houston Aeros. And, well, Mike Greenlay, you know, we touched upon it in the Oshman's game plan that the specialty teams would play a factor, and they definitely did in the scoring in that first period.
Well, they certainly did. The Aeros found themselves with actually some fortune right off the bat, a bit of a power play, but it didn't really work out for them because they got scored on shorthanded.
And we'll take you right to the highlights, and it started with a shorthanded goal by the Orlando Solar Bears.
And it's a great pass by McDonough as he feeds Richards right in front and just slides it underneath the pad of Sjerven, and Sjerven just couldn't get his leg down in time, but who makes the play is a good pass by McDonough right underneath the stick of the fenceman, and you know, Richards doesn't waste any time. He just tucks it in there. Sjerven didn't get his knee down in time.
So it would be 1-0 Orlando at that point, but then they get get their crack at their power play.
Well, certainly, and the power play, Alfie Turcotte makes no mistake as he comes in. He pays the price in front of the net from Gord Kruppke, but not before he puts one home to make it 2-0. He makes a good move as he gets the pass right in there from, I believe that was Barr, and then he puts it inside the post as he gets flattened, and it's 2-0 Orlando.
Kruppke nearly put him inside the post with that big hit, but the Orlando Solar Bears leading it by a score of 2-0. Looking at the first period stats brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer. 15-10, the Orlando Solar Bears outshoot the Houston Aeros. 13 saves for Grant Sjerven, 10 for Alan Bester. Both teams had one penalty for 2 minutes, but the key to power play, the Aeros 0 for 1 on the power play. They gave up a shorthanded goal, and the Solar Bears 1 of 1 on the man advantage. And I think Mike Maurice touched upon a very good thing in that intermission interview. The Aeros have got to come out and start hitting.
Well, certainly, and the Aeros did hit a little bit, but I think they have to concentrate on maybe some more hits in front of their own net.
All right, and now, help Grant Sjerven out a little bit. 15 shots in the first period. A tremendous amount of shots. It should be an outstanding second period. We invite you to stay with it. We'll have it when we return our score. After 20 minutes of action from the Summit, it's the Orlando Solar Bears 2, Houston Aeros 0. This is Saturday Night on Ice. Back in the Summit, Adam Gordon, Mike Greenlay, as we are set for second period action, as Grant Sjerven getting everything all set up in his goal crease, is trying to get his team backstopped here as they trail 2-0 on the other side. Alan Bester not really tested too much as Aeros stunk too. I didn't know Cat in the Hat was part of Aeros stock too.
Well, during the 60s there, I think maybe a few people were seeing Cat in the Hat.
Or is that green eggs and ham? Maybe I'm totally missing the whole theme of Aeros stock. Also performing in the intermission, Major Jones and the Flyboys from KPRC Radio, doing a terrific job entertaining the crowd. And hey, it's a festive night here. So we are ready to go as the Aeros will line up at center ice. Marc Freer, Graeme Townsend, Scott Arniel with Gord Donnelly and Miles O'Connor.
You know, the Aeros right now have lost 20 games here in the Summit. 9 of those have been by 1 goal and 6 others by 2 goals. So the Aeros will have to try and stop the bleeding in that regard. They've lost a lot of close ones here in this building, and you want to win when you're at home. That's when your fans are behind you.
I don't know what the delay is. Oh, Grant Sjerven is the delay. Not ready to go. Freer against Hubie McDonough. As we drop the puck and we're underway with the second period. Aeros trail 2-0. It is Gord Donnelly, spins the pass to O'Connor at center. That's knocked away by John Leblanc. Puck loose at neutral, and the Solar Bears have got it. Leblanc across the Aero line, centered one, but Arniel was there to take it away. Behind the cage, Arniel has got it. Scott Arniel banks one up the boards. It's clear to the line and out at center ice. Graeme Townsend had that bumped away. Now McDonough jumps on the loose puck. McDonough across the line, dropped at LeBlanc. He centered a pass too far for Richards. Todd Richards sends one down. Hubie McDonough getting set. Scooped it down for LeBlanc. He centered one to hit the side of the net, and then it came out in front. Here's the chance. McDonough, the shot scored. Dave Barr. And it's 3-0 Orlando.
Dave Barr puts one right upstairs, and it's, as you said, 3-0 Orlando, and they get one with less than 1 minute into this second period. Actually, Donnelly, in his attempt to clear it, actually put it right on the stick of Barr, and Barr made no mistake about it. Puts it right up underneath the bar, and no pun intended, a 15-year professional career has taught him where to put it, and Donnelly inadvertently puts it on McDonough's stick, and McDonough goes by it, but Barr makes no mistake about it as he deposits it right upstairs underneath it, and the Aeros trail it 3-0 and not really getting on top of anything in this game so far.
Off the face-off, puck comes down to Grant Sjerven, makes the fair catch. Now the puck came out in front, and the Aeros can't clear. Here's a turnover in front. Joyce shoots. Sjerven the save, and he'll hold on. So the Aeros have come out a little flat at the start of this period, and Orlando has jumped on them with a couple of quality scoring opportunities, and they lead at 3-0.
They certainly do, and Sjerven had to come up with a pretty good save there. as they tried to work out of the zone, but just couldn't. Dave Tippett in his usual form, not really showing too much emotion, but you have to know that right now Dave Tippett's wondering what's going on with his team. He talked a little bit earlier before the game about the Aeros not really winning those little battles and not doing the little things right. Well, I tell you what, a lot of those little things add up to big things, like not clearing the zone and giveaways in your own zone, and that's really added up to a 3-0 lead right now for the Orlando Solar Bears.
Face off in the circle to the right side of Grant. Sjerven sticks down, drop of the puck. Dwayne Joyce winding, shooting, puck deflected wide, picked up by Duncanson right side. He's watched by Laniel. Jaques in there to play it. Kerry Clark takes him to the wall. Aeros battling for it. Here's Marc Lamb along the near side. Lamb trying to move it up the boards. Kerry Clark along the left side along with Duncanson. The Aeros push it free. Lamb to the line, not out. Held in by Fern. Wide shoot. Stick save made by Sjerven. It's picked up by Jaques. It shot the length of the ice. It will not be icing as Alan Bester will play it. Bester for Orlando. Here's the puck back. It's going to be an icing call as Jaques will play it with 1.5 gone by in the second. 3-0 Orlando.
Steve Jaques, who is finding himself in more and more roles on this Aeros team. Last night played a bit on the power play. He's played a couple on the power play in this game already, and he's doing a good job in that role, finding himself a lot more ice time.
3-0 Orlando. Face off in the circle to the left side of Alan Bester.
As you said, Alan Bester hasn't really seen a lot of work, but the Aeros have the personnel to do it. They just need to regroup and try and get some more pressure right off the bat here.
Off the draw, it's Pat Neaton out at center. He'll push it across the Aero blue line. That was offside. They'll bring the face-off back to center ice. 18:16 to go in this second period, as Kurt Fraser very pleased with the way his team has come out tonight. They came in, they have lost 3 in a row. They have lost actually 5 in a row at home. The 3 in a row they came in with were all at home. They are 0-3-2 in their last 5 home games, which bodes well for Houston tomorrow night. But what doesn't bode well right now for Houston is they're struggling at home, and they're struggling in this game, trailing 3-0. Kruppke gets one out at center. Turgeon bumped off the puck, and the Aeros go back. Sylvain Turgeon, we've got a fight between Gord Kruppke and Barry Dreger. Here we go. Dreger firing away with some lefts. Kruppke trying to get it free. Gord Kruppke in a good tussle there, and then Kruppke using his strength takes him down. Dreger got a couple of right hands in there, but I think Kruppke was able to shoulder him. And I'll tell you, I've been waiting for this because the Aeros need something emotionally to perhaps lift him and through this period get him going.
Well, Gord Kruppke got pinned up against the boards and wasn't able to get his arm free as, oh, there goes that tie-dye shirt, and I don't know how long that wasn't going to last very long as the shirt's ripped, and I don't know how they're going to pin that back together. Of course, looks like Steve Sumner, the trainer for the Houston Aeros, the equipment manager, is going to have to go to work there and try and throw that baby back together for the rest of this game. Of course, they only use them for this night as Dreger and Kruppke go at it. Dreger leads the team, the Orlando Solar Bears, in penalty minutes at 250. And Gord Kruppke and him get going at it. Great in this second period. We hadn't seen too much rough stuff. Most of the rough stuff we'd seen in the game so far had been good, clean hits, and then him and Dreger decided to go at it here in this second period. And the boys, I think, having a little bit of a laugh over that ripped jersey because, boy, they're pretty flashy, and it tore it right in half. I don't know what they're going to do about that. I think, like I said, Sumner's going to have to, the equipment manager's going to have to throw some quick stitches in that.
He's pretty good with the sewing machine, too. I had a pair of slacks. He says, Adam, those are a little long on you. I said, well, a little bit. I haven't had a chance to get them hemmed yet. He says, well, I'll take care of it for you.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you can sew gloves, goalie pads, and things like that up, and jerseys, a pair of pants is a breeze.
Here is,
or a pair of breezers is a breeze.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. Turgeon pass. Oh, greener. Here is Todd Richards back in his own zone. He's run into by Dipietro. Turgeon turning with a shot, deflected away. Mike Yo jumped on it, base of the left circle. He'll fire one into the near corner, Orlando territory. Turgeon in there. Gave that good shoulder test with a check there. He centered one. It was knocked away by Orlando. They will scamper to center. And then another hit. So the Aeros starting to go to the body a little bit. Here's Dipietro, shoots. His shot just went wide. Turcotte trying to clear.
But we've got a whistle as the puck was hit with a high stick. 17:24 to go in the second period. Orlando leads it by a score of 3-0.
Well, Sylvain Turgeon stepped back into that role as Dave Tippett said that he wasn't going to play him, and I think made a last-minute decision to put Turgeon on the ice tonight. Turgeon has a few good hard shots in tonight's game and has really been involved. You know, Turgeon's the kind of guy that really, he likes to hit, and you think of a guy that knows how to put the puck in the net, that he doesn't hit very much, but this guy likes to throw the body around. And speaking of hits, Mike Yeo really cranks Frederick there and puts him on the ice, knocks his helmet right off his head. And there's another man, Mike Yeo, who has really come up and played well tonight. He has first game back last night, and the penalty on the play, I think, was maybe a high stick or a hook, as the Aeros will find themselves with a man advantage. Maybe they can make something of this one.
Face-off will be in the circle to the right side of Alan Bester. Freer, Arniel, Townshend with Hurlbutt and Lamb. Sticks down, drop of the puck, and it's cleared up and out at center. Lamb goes back to play. Marc Lamb, forecheck by Barr. Arrows go back with a chance to work on the power play here. Marc Lamb, center ice for Scott Arniel. Looped it ahead for Freer, hits the line. Freer cutting down right wing, pulls up and sets up on the man advantage. Freer along the boards, had it tipped away and it's shoveled right back down the length of the ice. We're 3 minutes into the second period. Orlando leads 3-0. Here come the Houston Aeros through the neutral zone. A lead pass intercepted by Tiley, and here come the Solar Bears shorthanded. Eisenhut shoots, scores! Neil Eisenhut shorthanded, and it's 4-0 Orlando.
And I think you just saw the last of Grant Sjerven, as looks like Eisenhut put one right up under the bar. I think Troy Gamble is putting his gear on and will come to relieve Sjerven. Sjerven, who hasn't seen a game in a month, has come into this game and not played necessarily bad, but really hasn't had a chance to ease into this game, as he's had some pretty tough goals. But the puck is intercepted, not a very smart pass across the top of the zone like that, as the defenseman stands up and feeds it to Eisenhut, and a good hard shot right up underneath the bar for Eisenhut, and that is the second shorthanded goal of the game for the Orlando Solar Bears, and that puts them at 12 on the season for shorthanded goals.
Face-off will be at center ice. 16:43 to go in the second period. It is now 4-0 Orlando, and Troy Gamble will come in and try and stop the bleeding.
Troy Gamble has played 10 games in a row, and this will be his 11th game, not 11th start, but 11th game in a row that he has seen action, and has played very well. I think they wanted Sjerven to hang on there for a while, because Gamble will probably be seen tomorrow night as well, so give him some rest.
Here's Bob Joyce trying to cut in. Ooh, shot went just wide. Eisenhut had it tipped away, and the Aeros move up and out at center. Kelly Hurd, the pass for Laniel, knocked away, and the Aeros are back to play it. Sylvain Turgeon gives it to Miles O'Connor, and the Aeros will move it up ice. O'Connor up the left wing for Paul Dipietro, shoots the puck into the Orlando zone, playing it in the corner. Kelly Hurd swinging along the far side. It came back to Laniel, trying to scoop one out in front. Here's a chance. Hurd shooting, blocked. It's loose in the slot, and Dipietro trying to gather it in. Back to the line, Laniel for Miles O'Connor. Winds, shoots right on Bester, save, rebound. Kelly Hurd was harassing Bester in front, but couldn't redirect one behind the net. Now O'Connor again on the power play, trying to work it down. It's popped back to the line. Laniel held it in. Laniel run into by Duncanson, and it was knocked away. Solar Bears have it. They'll shoot it the length of the ice. 13 seconds left in the Joe Frederick minor. 15.5 to go in the second period. And here is a two-line pass on the Houston Aeros, and the face-off will come back into Houston territory. In 7 seconds, Joe Frederick returns to the ice.
So the Houston Aeros really haven't been able to get on the scoreboard and have given up 2 shorthanded goals and a power play goal. Of course, the lone even strength goal coming less than a minute into the period. The Aeros seem to, you can't really say they're struggling. They're just having a very tough game and can't really seem to get it together. The Orlando Solar Bears really taking advantage of any giveaway and doing a good job. Sjerven back on the bench as Gamble's into the game to relieve him after 4 Orlando goals found a home behind him.
Off the draw, the Solar Bears have it. Dave Barr down the left side, trying to cut in. Lamb's got him locked up. As the penalty is over and teams are back at 5 aside, Slivchenko worked one in front. It was knocked away. Solar Bears, Leblanc trying to move one down. It was taken by Lamb. He'll move out at center ice. Marc Lamb, right side, pushed it into the Orlando zone. And Pat Neaton is there. Neaton turning in behind the net. And here come the Solar Bears, leading 4-0. 5 minutes into the second period. Slivchenko, right side, cuts one in. Here's a chance. A quick shot, score! Marc Lamb from Slivchenko. And the Aeros on the board. It's a 4-1 hockey game.
The Aeros have shown an ability to come back. Of course, they had a lot of practice in the earlier part of the year of trying to come back in games, and Marc Lamb puts the puck behind Alan Bester, and this might be what the Aeros need to get them going. That goal, Marc Lamb will give him 3 goals, 11 assists in his last 10 as Slivchenko makes a good feed, and Lamb, in a little move, he actually faked far side and then tucked it between the legs of Bester as Bester lifted his stick, but not before a lot of good hard work by Slivchenko and a lucky bounce off of a defenseman's skate right onto Lamb's stick, and he pots one home. That's Marc Lamb's 13th goal of the season, and it's the first one for the Aeros tonight.
Puck is shot into the Orlando zone. Bester knocked it away. Came to the near boards. Donnelly pinching, but it was squirted out to center. Laniel goes back to play it. And it's controlled by Arniel. Feather one to Freer. It's blasted into Orlando territory. Right side, Graeme Townshend trying to find Arniel. Taken away by Dwayne Joyce. Joyce has it up the wall. It's cleared up and out at center ice. To play it is Brad Tiley. Sends one over to Joyce. It's up and out at center for Alfie. Turcotte. Turcotte, right side. Frederick centered one. That was taken away. And then Gamble was upended. Here's a shot as Gamble was down. He covered up and held on. He was kind of upended behind the play, and Gamble had to make a tough save there. Well, there's a timeout on the ice, and we'll do the same. It's 4-1 Orlando. Back at the Summit after this.
Welcome back to the Summit. Orlando leads 4-1, but that one goal was scored just recently. The Solar Bears trying to come back, and actually it's Turcotte who trips Gamble, and the puck will come into Gamble. He makes a save as he lays down. You know, I thought that it was an inadvertent play there by Turcotte, but Turcotte gets away with one as he trips Gamble on the play, and he was standing in the crease. So the Orlando Solar Bears trying some sneaky stuff as well.
Here's a puck in the slot, Aero territory. Fished out by Houston, can't clear. The shot right on, Gamble stopped it and then cleared the rebound. Crowd starting to get into this game. Puck to the corner. It's picked up by Joe Frederick for Orlando. Aeros fighting for a loose puck. It came out in front. Here's the shot. Gamble save, rebound. And Freer is there, but not after Steve Jaques literally drilled Craig Fisher like an oil well in the Gulf right through the net, and he is down, but I think he's all right. Big hit there.
Well, he needed that big hit to get Fisher out of the way. Fisher makes a couple good moves and just holds on to it, and Fisher's very good at stopping and going the other way and going and turning back against the grain on people, and that's what helped him get this puck. Gets it away from Donnelly, I think it was, or actually it was Jaques, and Gamble gets his toe on it, and Jaques with a little bit of a payback there on Fisher. We haven't seen a lot of Fisher this game yet, and Fisher's been the one who's been the thorn in the side of the Houston Aeros tonight. Fisher tries to get that goal there, but is flattened on the play, and it looks like the Aeros are going to get a penalty on the one. Steve Jaques is going to get 2 minutes and in the box for cross-checking, it looks like.
Face-off in the circle to the left side of Troy Gamble. McDonough, Barr, Fisher with Tiley and Dwayne Joyce. A very volatile, very potent power play for Orlando. Face-off won by Houston, spanked away Donnelly. And Conroy will escort it ahead for Marc Lamb, charging right side. In across the blue line, shakes off one check, trying to cut in, but McDonough takes it away. Ubi McDonough had the puck, and now the Solar Bears will take it. It's Dwayne Joyce in behind the cage. Joyce
A pass to the left side, too far for Dave Barr. It's played by Miles O'Connor, and play halted. Dave Barr, 15th professional season. He played many years. I think it was 13 he played in the NHL before playing in Kalamazoo last year. In fact, he represented Kalamazoo at the IHL All-Star game last year. But get a load of the NHL clubs. Boston, New York Rangers, St. Louis Blues, Hartford Whalers, Detroit Red Wings, New Jersey Devils. That's 6 clubs over, I believe, 13 NHL seasons. In fact, how about this stat? Of the 42 top picks in 1980, when he came in 1980, he's only one of 12 that are still playing in the IHL. Outstanding hockey player, too. He can still play.
That's called perseverance. And talking about the Orlando Solar Bears, how potent their power play is against the Aeros. The Orlando Solar Bears have scored coming into tonight's game, or sorry, in the 6 games, 13 out of the 24 chances. That's over a 50% scoring ratio on the power play. They own the Aeros on that power play.
Clock is shot into Houston territory. McDonough wrestled off by Miles O'Connor. Flipped over to Marc Ferner. Ferner, right point, still on the power play, a minute 13 remaining in it. Dave Barr, base of the right circle, tapped in by O'Connor, came behind the net for Craig Fisher, centered one, it came back to the line. Ferner tees it up, shoots, right on, Gamble save, bang away at the rebound, puck to McDonough, shoots. That was blocked by Al Conroy, and then it went down to Gord Donnelly, who was down on top of that as well. Donnelly a little shaken up, but I think he's no worse for the wear.
Well, I think it stung him a bit, as you know, defensemen don't have the padding really, or forwards for that matter either, don't have the padding in the midsection, and that's where I think the puck hit him as he blocks a shot. You know, that's a stat that I wish we would keep, because Gord Donnelly would lead the league. I swear this guy gets in front of more pucks than some goaltenders as he cuts across and deliberately blocks his shot into his midsection, and you can see him wincing on the play just from taking it in that midsection. That, I tell you, that hurts when you get a good slap shot in the stomach. As a goaltender, goaltender's got the great padding, but Gord Donnelly, who actually leads the team in penalty minutes, leads the team definitely in blocked shots, and there's another one for his stats.
Puck is picked up by Houston. Yo couldn't clear. Dave Barr back to the line for Hubie McDonough. 53 on the power play, right side. It's a pass that came in. McDonough, the shot that just went wide. Picked up by Todd Richards. Give it to McDonough. Puck center. The shot blocked loose. Another shot. That was blocked. Third shot. Score! On a delayed penalty, a power play goal. And Troy Gamble had absolutely no help in front. You can't fault Gamble there. Nobody could pick up a loose puck or Hubie McDonough. And the Solar Bears score on the power play. And they now lead this hockey game 5-1.
Well, McDonough is really becoming a power player for the Orlando Solar Bears. And really, especially against the Aeros tonight, he's really lighting it up. And boy, a lot of guys hitting the ice, and one of them was Fisher, but it's McDonough who finally finds the loose puck in front of the net and slides it home inside the post on Gamble. Gamble makes about 2, maybe 3 saves, and finally, coming back against the grain, McDonough gets a little gift as the puck squirts out, and he jams one inside the post, and it's a 5-1 hockey game. Orlando, we talked about them being very explosive in the offensive category. They're the type of team that can win a game 7-5, 7-6, but they don't always have to, because they're not bad defensively as well, and with a guy like Alan Bester in net, they seem to be doing pretty good.
A delayed penalty was being called, and the new rule in the IHL is now Yo goes into the box on the fresh 2 minutes. The power play, the goal on the power play brings the first guy, Jaques, out, but now Yo goes in for 2 minutes. So the Aeros have to kill off another power play, and they haven't killed one off yet tonight. Here is Freer in across the line. Freer looks for the shot, stopped by Alan Bester. Now it is Marc Ferner. He'll push the puck up the boards, not out. Then a second effort came to center, and O'Connor got it into the Orlando zone. It is Joe Frederick. They'll move it up and out at center, across the line. Frederick dropped it back for Leblanc. Mark Lamb chipped that away. Turcotte and O'Connor shoulder into the corner. Here's a puck that's worked in for John LeBlanc. Puck centered. That's tipped away. It came right back out at center ice. Dwayne Joyce for Pat Neaton. And the Solar Bears shoot it in. They've got 56 remaining on their power play. Puck rolled away by Mark over to Mark Lamb. He's tied up by Alfie Turcotte. Fished out by Joe Frederick. Bumps by Donnelly. They battle for it. Scott Arniel is there, and he'll just fling that the length of the ice. The Aeros have yet to kill off the power play. It is
A puck that is controlled by the Orlando Solar Bears. Dwayne Joyce shoots it into Houston territory. Gamble lets it roll to the near side. In there's Crank Fisher trying to slice one in. A backhander. Gamble stopped that with a right pad. Jaques turns it away with 18 seconds remaining on the power play. Laniel worked it up the boards. It'll go the length of the ice. And there is 10 seconds remaining in the Yo penalty. Puck is controlled by Orlando. Pat Neaton across the line trying to cut in. Hooked off the play by Laniel. Puck centered. Here's a shot. Scored! Dave Barr! Just as the power play expired. It's not a power play goal, but it is now 6-1 Orlando.
Dave Barr gets his second of the period as he jams away at a loose puck in front. Gamble made the first save, and you know, at the last couple games, last night especially, but tonight as well, goaltenders have made 1-2 saves maybe, and then the rebound will go in the net as Jaques kind of misplays it. It wasn't really a shot, but Jaques goes off the heel of his stick, and Barr is there sniffing around for his second goal of the period. It's 6-1 for the Solar Bears. When will this bleeding end for the Houston Aeros tonight?
Boy, I don't know. Orlando has just jumped all over Houston. Houston just can't seem to handle it right now. They've got to find something to stop the bleeding. I thought maybe the Lamb goal might do it, but Orlando comes back with 2 more unanswered goals. Here's a centering pass in front. A shot stopped by Alan Bester. Bang away and a loose puck. Jumped on by Slivchenko. It's jammed to the near side. Turgeon wrestled to the boards. Dipietro is in after it. And the puck loosened up by Paul Dipietro. Comes around. Stuff shot blocked by Alan Bester. And here come the Solar Bears the other way. Eisenhut moves one ahead. That's chipped away by Hurlbut, but not out of the zone. Kerry Clark moving right wing. Clark fighting for it. Turgeon trying to corral him. He's got his jersey. That was holding. Here's Eisenhut. A shot. Gamble stopped it. It got behind him, and Turgeon takes it away. The pass out for Slivchenko. He's knocked off the puck by Neaton, and that's going to be a penalty on Neaton. And that'll bring a stoppage in play as Bester stops it, and we will take time out. 9.5 to go in this one. It is all Orlando. 6-1 Solar Bears. It is 6-1 Orlando. 2 minutes going up on the board to Pat Neaton. But here is the story of the night. And we go to the specialty team, and it has just literally killed the Aeros. Of the 6 Orlando goals, 4 are on specialty teams. 2 shorthanded off Aero power plays and 2 off regular Orlando power plays. So that's, quite frankly, the biggest difference in this hockey game. And the Aeros right now need to go to work here, because it doesn't get any easier. They face the same Orlando Solar Bear Hockey Club tomorrow in the arena. Here's a puck from Miles O'Connor at a right point. Shot right on. And whoop, Alan Bester, a bouncing puck. He'll have to make the save and hold on.
Miles O'Connor on the power play takes a good shot. It looks like Bester might have pulled something as he slowed to get up, but he gives the puck to the linesman and sits there for a second laughing at himself, or with himself, or I don't know what it is, but a good hard shot by O'Connor, and the puck kind of deflects a little bit, and Bester picks it out of the air and makes a save. Maybe he was just wondering, hey, how did that puck jump in the air on me? But he's quick to the react and makes a save. It's 6-1 Solar Bears.
Face-off controlled by Orlando. It's cleared to the line. Not out. O'Connor held it in. It's pushed away. And it's back out at center for Bob Joyce. Across the line with Barry Dreger. Joyce dropped it back for Dreger. Cuts in. Wine shoots. Gamble saving. And it's controlled by Houston. Kelly Hurd. He'll steer the puck for Marc Lamb. Lamb right side. Gives it up for O'Connor. He'll hit the line. O'Connor left side. Dumped it in. It was picked away by Dwayne Joyce. Solar Bears trying to move it out of there. And here is Joyce again. He'll try to move it along. Kicked away by O'Connor. Moving down left wing. Pass. Controlled. Conroy shoots. Stopped by Bester. Wow! What a save there! As Kelly Hurd snuck in there. And Alan Bester the save. It'll go down the ice. No icing as Gamble will play it. 8:37 to go in the second period. 6-1 Orlando. Aeros with 1:05 left on the power play. It's Kelly Hurd at center ice for Houston. Hits the line. Hurd cutting in. Sends one behind the cage for Lamb. Marc Lamb steers one for Hurd. Rolled back for Lamb along the left wing. Battle for the puck. It's stripped away by Ferner, and it's cleared the length of the ice by Orlando. 43 seconds left on the power play. Jaques in his own zone. At center for Arniel.
Gives it to Freer, trying to hit the line and move around. Todd Richards can't do it, but Graeme Townshend moving in. Townshend fired it along the boards. Jaques has it base of the right circle for Freer behind the net. Marc Freer right back to the line. Here is Hurlbutt. Mike Hurlbutt, a shot deflected away. Freer got a stick on it. Puck came out in front. It's taken away by Joe Frederick, shorthanded, right side across the line. Frederick trying to move through the check of Hurlbutt. Battle for the puck, and Freer will loosen it up along the boards. Marc Freer's pass comes over to Steve Jaques. Right wing boards, pass out at center for Arniel. Arniel dumped it into the Orlando zone as the power play is over. Teams are at 5 aside. Puck came in and it was stuck aside and held on by Alan Bester with 7:23 remaining in the second period. 6-1 Orlando.
And Orlando right now is second in the league in scoring at 4.27 goals per game is their average. That's second behind Las Vegas. But the Aeros trying to notch away at the big lead, 6-1, but Bester with an unbelievable toe save on Kelly Hurd as Conroy makes a great feed out front. They're just about to yell he scores when you just have to say, wow, what a save by Bester, as Bester gets his toe on that coming across the crease really nicely. He has a 5-goal cushion to work with, though.
Well, that's what I did say. I said, wow, what a save.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't you hear me?
You said.
Puck is back to the line. Miles O'Connor sends it back behind the net. Slivchenko trying to dig it out. And it's Kerry down in front. A shot right on. Stopped by Bester as Dipietro's in there. Dipietro cranking a drive. It was deflected away. Solarbear's turn. Clear it up and out at center. Miles O'Connor fired one to the left side. Yo trying to center one. Neaton is there. And that is knocked away. McDonough had that taken away by Dipietro. Centered. O'Connor came in there but couldn't pull the trigger. Dave Barr moves it up and out at center, in over the blue line. Donnelly trying to get back to play it. It's pushed to the near corner. And here comes Vadim Slivchenko. Slivchenko out at the right side at center, hits the line. Slivchenko with a quick shot, and that was wristed wide of the net. Dipietro couldn't gather it in, and McDonough will clear it. Marc Laniel fired the puck into Orlando territory, and the Solar Bears have got it. It is played behind the net by Mark Ferner. Ferner up the left side, moves it up and out, neutral ice. Trying to escort one for Jaques, though, as he took it away. Jaques trying to move it along the boards, and the puck was tied up, and we'll take time out. 6:15 to go in the second period. A 5-goal lead for Orlando. We'll be back after this. Well, Greener, I've seen it all. I've seen him launch shirts from a slingshot. I've seen him launch balls. I've seen him launch, but hot dogs, and one of them just flew out of the wrapper.
The Blues brothers here at the game are shooting hot dogs out of the sling, and they're going pretty far. One was right across the ice surface.
Fans are more into that right now. But there's action going on, and we're back to action in the Orlando zone. Puck came to the near side, Jaques. Jaques turns one over to the left side. It's chased down by Marc Laniel. Laniel for Conroy, tied up along the boards. It came out in front, but Turgeon couldn't pull the trigger, and it's back to neutral ice. 5:49 left in the second, 6-1 Orlando. Alan Bester comes out of the net to slow, and Dwayne Joyce will play it. Alfie Turcotte gives the puck to Joyce. Out at center, Crank Fisher hits the line, makes the move as it came in for Turcotte. Turcotte left side. He's checked by Turgeon. Puck came in front. Jaques is there, and he'll steal it over for Mark Lamb. Out at center ice for Al Conroy. Conroy through the neutral zone. Sends a pass in front of it, blocked by Joyce. Can the Aeros hold it in? Yes, they will, but Turgeon loses it, and Turcotte escorts it to center ice. Al Conroy waiting for his teammate to get outside. Barely happened as Turgeon needed a line change. He's logged some ice after coming back from the shoulder injury. Puck is in the corner to the left side of Bester. Battle for it. Dwayne Joyce trying to knock it away from Al Conroy. It's picked up by Joyce. Cleared up the glass. Back to the line. Held in. Shot along the boards. It came behind the net as Arniel goes in there wrestling with Dwayne Joyce. Here is Kruppke. Sends one in. That's blasted away. And a lead pass for Fisher. But there's Kruppke to get back and knock Fisher off the puck. Great defensive play there by Gord Kruppke. It is Hurlbutt on the left side in his own zone. Long lead pass knocked down into the Orlando zone. Richards hustles back. Freer in there to have a look at it. Now Kelly Hurd cutting in. Here is Hurd, the backhander. Stopped, loose in front. Stopped again. Another drive went just wide. The late penalty coming up. It'll be to the Orlando Solar Bears, and we'll bring you the Aero power play when we return. It's Orlando 6, the Aeros 1. This is Saturday Night on Ice.
6-1 hockey game, and let's take a look at the Pizza Hut save comparison brought to you by Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut delivers. Alan Bester has made 19 saves, has really not been tested tonight by the Aero offense. On the other side, Troy Gamble and Grant Sjerven have combined for 23 saves, but they faced 29 shots, and Dave Tippett, I think the expression on his face says it all. He doesn't show a lot of emotion, but I think you can read it right now. It's not too hard to.
And I think we have a problem on the ice. I'm not sure what it is, but they have a crew down by the Zamboni entrance trying to figure something out down there. It might be something wrong with the glass, but players are going to the bench. I'm not sure. The referee, Ernst, is coming to talk to Tippett. But either way, the Aeros find themselves trailing this game, but they do have a power play as Tiley is.
Oh, there's a broken pane of glass.
Tiley is in the box for hooking. It happened just before the break, and this might cause the with 4:20 remaining in the second, they might just send the guys back to the dressing room, and that's exactly what they're going to do. The guys will go back to the dressing room. They'll play the rest of this period. I guess tack it on to the top of the third period, and they'll do the ice probably right now and also fix the glass.
All right,
so
we saw this before.
Yes, we have. So the Aeros will get an early break.
So I guess we go to work, and by the way, 2 minutes go up on the board to Brad Tiley. So the Aeros, when they resume play in the second period, will have a power play, but we'll sort all that out. So we are in an early edition of the second period intermission, and we'll have all that for you right after this. It's 6-1 Orlando. This is Saturday Night on Ice. 6-1 hockey game about ready to start the third period, and well, the start of the second, resume second period action. Let's go to Mike Greenley for the highlights of that period. Greener?
Well, I tell you what, it was 2-0 after that first period, and in the second period they waste no time getting out as the clearing pass goes right onto McDonough's stick. Barr picks up the trailing puck and jams it high on the top shelf as the Orlando Solar Bears make it 3-0. Right after that, Eisenhut short-handed with a blast from the top of the circle right in the center of the net underneath the bar. That's it for Sjerven as Gamble comes in for relief. Well, do you think that helped? It helped a little bit as Slivchenko burns around the outside on Neaton and throws it out front, and Lamb makes a nifty move to slide it between the legs of Bester, but that was all the scoring for the Houston Aeros in that second period, or at least the first part of that second period, and the Orlando Solar Bears come right back. It's McDonough out front, and it's jammed away in front, but there's a scramble. McDonough finds the puck and deposits it in the short side of the net, and so now we have a 5-1 lead, but the Orlando Solar Bears still are not finished. It's Neaton who works it in down into the zone. Barr will be out in front. He'll take the pass and jam it home as the puck goes off of the heel of Jaques' stick. The Orlando Solar Bears have a 6-1 lead with 4:20 remaining in this second period.
Second period stats brought to you by Whataburger. What you waiting for? 15-10 the shots on goal. Saves again 13-10 for the Houston Aeros. When we return, third period action back after this. Long stats. Back in the Summit, there's 4:20 to go now for the remainder of the second period, and the Aeros have a power play. So there's really 24 minutes and 20 seconds left in the hockey game. So it's like there was really an intermission just to get the rest of the second period fixed. They got the pane of glass fixed, so here we go. Aeros on the power play. They have given up 2 shorthanded goals tonight and have not scored a goal yet on their power play. They were 0 for 5 last night. And at this point, unofficially 0 for 3 tonight. Here comes Kelly Hurd down the left side, in across the line, pulls up base of the left circle, worked it back. Marc Lamb at a right point to Miles O'Connor. O'Connor tees it up, cranked his shot, deflected. It was loose in the slot, but Dave Barr was there to drag it out of harm's way. Lamb holds it in. Marc Lamb circles top of the slot. Give it to Sylvain Turgeon right side. Turgeon with 1:19 on the power play. Looks for a man to pass to. Floats it back. O'Connor faked the shot. Give it back to Turgeon. Turgeon looking for the man down low. Sends it for Kelly Hurd. Spins away from Mark Ferner. 1:07 left on the power play. Turgeon to Hurd. Back to Turgeon. Cuts in. Couldn't get the shot away. Had lost the puck. Merked it down in the corner. Here's a chance. Kelly Hurd centered the shot by Dipietro, and he cranked it high and wide of the net. Picked up by the Solar Bears and shot the length of the ice.
50 seconds left on the power play. 3:06 to go in the second period. 6-1 Orlando. Aeros shoot the puck into the Solar Bear zone. Neaton goes back to play. Worked on by Yo. Neaton will turn, get it out of the zone, but nice play by Marc Lamb to bring it back in. Lamb cuts to the slot, gives, Hurlbut, line, shoots, blockbuster, rebound! And it was tipped away. Lamb again to the line. Hurlbut, drive, another one, spanked just wide as Yo was wreaking havoc in front. It's pushed back to the line, held in. Lamb looking for Conroy. Swatted Yo as he is watched by Todd Richards. Puck stripped away by Neaton. He'll fire it off the boards. It's out at center ice, and it's 2-on-1 shorthanded. Here come the Solar Bears. Eisenhut waiting at goal. Shoots upstairs but missed the net. Good defensive play by Hurlbut again to stop that 2-on-1.
That's a second shorthanded 2-on-1. The Aeros have given up. The second one, Hurlbut, has moved away.
Yo right side. Jammed it down. The power play's over. Teams at 5 aside. Conroy trying to get one to Slivchenko. That's blasted away by Orlando and moved up and out of the zone. Barry Dreger. He'll move one up and out and into the Aeros zone as Slivchenko was hit behind the play and no penalty. I was watching the puck and I don't know what happened. Puck is controlled by Orlando. Craig Fisher cutting in left side. Center one ricocheted and then deflected away. Turcotte. Puck spun away and we got a whistle as the net became dislodged with 1:48 to go in the second period. 6-1 Solar Bears.
Adam, if you were to ask me what the Aeros needed to do in the rest of this period and also beginning in that third period, they'll have to, I think, play good, solid defensive hockey. A lot of people say, well, hey, we're losing 6-1. We need goals. Well, I tell you what, you know where it starts from is it starts right down in your own zone. You start taking care of things down in your own zone and you all of a sudden find more offensive opportunities. Why is that? Well, that's because everyone's back. And when everyone's back, you regroup, control the puck, and move up the ice as a team. And if you don't move up the ice as a team, you're not going to get too far because you're not going to be able to do it alone. This is a team sport.
Puck is moved out at center. Arniel dumped it into the Orlando end. Stripped away by Alan Bester. Townsend knocked it down. Graeme Townsend behind the net playing peekaboo. Centered one. That deflected in there. Bang away at it. Bester stopped it. Loose puck. And it's jammed away. So Alan Bester robs Scott Arniel. And then Townsend lowered the boom on Craig Fisher. Puck is controlled by Laniel. He'll rip it into the Orlando zone. Back to a right point for Graeme Townsend. Scooped along the boards. Freer trying to dig one out. He's battling in there along the boards. And it finally squirms out in front. Jaques center one. That's knocked away. Here's a puck that's shot out at center. And Craig Fisher, if he gets there, he's in alone. Fisher got there, but Gamble nonchalantly came out and tipped it away. Fisher trying to shake off as there's a minute remaining in the second period of play. And here's a penalty coming up to Steve Jaques as Fisher was knocked down. Delayed call coming up to the Houston Aeros. Frederick trying to scoop one out, and the play will be whistled down as Freer touches it, and then he's going to shoot it the length of the ice and into the Orlando net. That's a no-no.
Well, I tell you what, it's kind of it immediately looked like a weak call, and I originally thought the call would have been maybe a hooking or something, but Steve Jaques will go off for the cross check as they mix it up along the boards after the puck was dumped all the way down the ice and into the Orlando net. No, they don't get credit for an empty net goal, as it was blown dead as the Aeros touched it, because the Aeros will get a penalty. Cross-checking to Steve Jaques as Ernst makes the call, and the puck is shot all the way back down the other end and into the Aeros net. No, they don't get a goal for that either, as they're playing a little back and forth. A little psychological games here.
And how big of a break is it here when you've got penalties that are between periods? Normally you've got the intermission. You've got the intermission to deal with, but this time they don't. So really, the Orlando Solar Bears aren't going to be affected by the change. They're going to get 2 minutes to work with here. Face off to the left side of Troy Gamble.
They'll just change ends after this period's over.
48 seconds to go in the second period. Off the draw, it came to Gamble. Picked up by Al Conroy. Moves it right side. It's out at center. And into the Orlando end. Bester knocked it down. Todd Richards is there to play it. Starting this power play. They've got a couple of power play goals also tonight. UB McDonough right side. They're 2 for 3 on the power play. Puck dumped into the Aeros zone. Conroy back to play. Wrapped up by Fisher, but got the puck through the check of McDonough. And Conroy will scamper to center. Trying to bank one for Lamb. That's intercepted by Richards. And the Solar Bears bring it up ice. Down the left side, Dave Barr pulls up at the hash marks. Left side, Barr getting set on the power play to the line. Here's a big try to Gamble with the save, and he'll hold on. Through traffic, and he will hold on. Houston Aeros Hockey is sponsored in part
by Bud Ice. They are proud sponsors of the IHL.
Making a good save on that was Troy Gamble. Those high rising shots coming from the point on the one-timer, and he had to pick it up through a crowd. And in front of the net, doing a good job. Miles O'Connor and Gord Donnelly trying to clear traffic out as Fisher was in there, and he's always dangerous, especially if the puck drops on the rebound. But Gamble was sharp in freezing that, not allowing any more chances.
Face off in the circle to the right side of Troy Gamble. Drop of the puck. It's controlled by Orlando. Back to the left point. Todd Richards whining, faking the shot. Cuts back to the slot. 3 seconds left in the second period. Shot is blocked. And the Aeros will turn and move it up. And that'll be the second period. So realistically, it doesn't really do anything to the power play here. There is 1:12 remaining in the Jaques minor. They will switch ends and start things up for the third period.
Yes, you're right. That's all. They won't do any ice resurfacing or anything. Not really even a break, except for maybe a drink of water, and then Ernst will flip things around and away they go. And officially the shots on goal. Solar Bears out shooting the Aeros 30-24. And that is after 2 periods of play unofficially. 1:12 remaining on the Solar Bear power play as Jaques is in the box for cross-checking. Kurt Fraser has to be pleased with the way his team's performed. They've really scored in pretty much every area of the game, and both shorthanded and on the power play, and also in the even strength.
He's screaming, Kurt Fraser screaming, let's go. He's got a power play. He wants to get this thing going. He doesn't want to have to sit back on this thing. He wants to keep the pressure going. They're up 6-1. Just wants to keep going. He wants his team out of this rut. He wants them flying high. You know, they're battling Cleveland for the top spot in that Central Division. Both teams with 78 points. Cleveland tonight is idle. Last night they lost at home to the Cincinnati Cyclones. Face off at center to start the third period. Off the draw. It's picked up by Gord Kruppke. Now the Aeros are short-handed for another minute 8. Kruppke's pass comes to line. That's a 2-line pass.
Something that was in the newspaper, and who didn't see the paper last week. Kevin Grant, you mentioned Cincinnati, and that's where Kevin Grant is. He is in Cincinnati now. The Aeros have loaned him to Cincinnati, and so he's playing defense for them. And haven't heard too much word from back from that, but the word is that probably there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and unless things change, obviously. But that's the initial time frame that we're looking at.
Cincinnati did make a trade yesterday, sending Marc LaBelle to the Milwaukee Admirals for future considerations. More of a tough guy, but
yeah, definitely him and Donnelly have had some good scraps.
Puck was picked up by the Solar Bears. They've got 47 seconds on the power play. Frederick get across the line, but he was ahead of the play, and that is offsides, where play is whistled down. Let's take another look at those second period stats. They are brought to you by Whataburger. What you waiting for? 30-24, the Orlando Solar Bears. This is through 2 periods. 24-23 in the save department. And the penalties, 5 for 13 minutes for Orlando, also for the Houston Aeros. 2 for 3 on the power play for the Solar Bears. Aeros 0 for 4. Puck is picked up by Houston. Hurlbutt will shoot it down the ice, and that'll kill off some more time on the power play. Ferner in behind the net. He'll move the puck up to the right side, and Alfie Turcotte meandering through the neutral zone, hits the Aero blue line, knocked away by the Aero defense. It came down in front. They shoot. Gamble got a piece of it. Then it got behind him. Score! A power play goal. Gamble doesn't know how it got in, but the Solar Bears do.
Short-handed again. That's their 3rd of the night.
Power play.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Jaques just stepped out of the box. I'm so used to saying that tonight, but yes, Gamble was against the post, and it was kind of a nonchalant play, but they jam away at it, and it somehow found its way up over the pad of Gamble and down behind him. They jam, and it just pops up off of his stick and drops down into the net. And that's been pretty much the story for the Aeros tonight, as I believe it's Turcotte that will get credit for the goal. And a 7-1 score right now. Solar Bears lead it, their 3rd power play goal of the game. And wow, the Aeros will really have to regroup before tomorrow.
Puck is shot down, and icing is the call to the Houston Aeros. You know, Dave Tippett comes in 11-7-3, and you know, I talked to him about the Aeros performance since he's taken over, and he says we've really been in every contest. He even thought, even the Phoenix game where they lost 5-2, he says, you look at the goals that Phoenix got, and we were in that hockey game. They got some really weird goals. Tonight's game, quite frankly, it's just an old-fashioned spanking, and you know what? If you try and find something positive out of this, get it out of the way now, and I think it's going to be a rude awakening for the boys, and it'll wake them up. I think the boys have a lot of pride, and they're going to look to rebound tomorrow. Here's a puck out at center. It's shot in by the Houston Aeros, and it's controlled by Orlando. Eisenhut popped it out at center. Here is Duncanson in across the Aero blue line, dropped it back. The puck came to Kerry Clark, trying to get a shot away. It drizzled down. Loose puck, and Gamble covers up and holds on. Now to add a little injury to insult, Greener. Aeros trailing 7-1, a final in Atlanta. The Knights blank the Michigan K-Wings tonight 3-0. So assuming that everything is status quo, the Aeros will be 9 points back. The Knights will be idle tomorrow. The Aeros, of course, are in Orlando. So it is a 9-point deficit for the Houston Aeros. That means they're going to have to win now 4.5 more games than the Knights in their remaining 17 after this one. O'Connor steers one out at center. Yo dumped the puck into the Orlando zone. Bester comes out to slow, flings one along the boards. Turgeon knocked it down. He's bumped by Neaton, and a battle for the puck, and Neaton is there. Neaton moves up the boards. We're at 5 aside. Eisenhut fired it into the arrow end. Gamble knocked it down. Gamble flings it along the boards. Here's Eisenhut near side, chipped it in behind the cage. Eisenhut had it taken away by Paul Dipietro, and he'll move to center ice. Dipietro gives it to Donnelly, cranks one in there. Stick save made by Bester, and Barry Dreger goes back. Dreger's long lead pass comes out to center, and Duncanson dumped it into the Aero zone. A little over 2 minutes into this third period. 7-1 the Solar Bears. Puck is brought in across the line by Marc Lamb. Looks in front, makes the move, cuts to the base of the right circle. He's tapped in there by Brad Tiley. Battle for the puck, and it's taken away by McDonough, but not before the referee Joe Ernst blows play dead.
Well, you look at the score, it's 7-1 Orlando, and you look at the record for the Houston Aeros this year so far have lost 2 games pretty much by large margins like this, a 6-goal margin. One of them was to the Orlando Solar Bears in the arena in Orlando, and another one was in Cincinnati, where they lost 8-2 earlier on this year. So, but they've never lost at home by this big of a margin. That includes last year.
Off the draw, here's a shot in the right pad, save made by Bester, and the puck is out at center. McDonough in across the line, puck knocked away, and Jaques is there. Jaques cleared it out at center. Here come the Houston Aeros. It is Lamb trying to find an angle to get into the zone, and they'll just dump it in. Looked like the space shuttle trying to get on re-entry to find that perfect angle through the system, the atmosphere, and then he dumped it in, and Jaques was dumped to the ice, and a penalty coming up to the Orlando Solar Bears. Let's take time out. 7-1, the Solar Bears lead it back with the Aero power play after this.
Welcome back to the Summit. 7-1 Orlando as John Leblanc goes to the box for hooking. Last time John Leblanc was in the box was in the first period, and that marked the first shorthanded goal that the Orlando Solar Bears scored on the Aeros. But let's hope the Aeros turn it around the other way this time and try and find themselves moving the puck around well and getting a power play goal. It would be their first of the night.
Face-off between Freer and Eisenhut. Sticks down, drop of the puck, and the Aeros will go back to center ice and regroup there. O'Connor to Jaques. Moves up the right side. Pass off the skates of Freer. Miles O'Connor, and they'll blow that dead on a hand pass. So of the 7 goals tonight, 5 of them have been off the specialty teams for Orlando. 3 power play goals, 2 shorthanded goals. And a face-off is at center ice.
Definitely, when you look at the outcome of this game, those will definitely be key factors. When Dave Tippett watches the tape, he'll definitely come down to things like specialty teams, both power play and penalty kill.
At center ice, Aeros have the puck. Scott Arniel on the power play, a pass right side. Jaques ripped it into the Orlando zone. Arniel down the left side, trying to move it along the boards. It came back to the line. O'Connor couldn't hold it in. Here come the Solar Bears. Eisenhut up ice. Slivchenko got back to tip it away. Now the puck cleared, not out. Held in by Bob Joyce. Moving down the right side. O'Connor tapped him in there. Here is Joyce trying to turn. Joyce cutting in, lets a shot go, and that was hooked just wide of the net. O'Connor will go back to play it. O'Connor pass to the right side for Freer. He'll move it down the right side and into the Orlando zone, but it's cleared back to center ice.
The Aeros just can't get the puck down deep in the zone right now. They seem to be being held up at that blue line by the Orlando Solar Bears every time. And once again, it's intercepted.
Puck is picked up by the Solar Bears and shot into Aero territory. Jaques. Right side Dipietro and across the line to Yo. Gives to Dipietro. Shoots, and a stick save made by Bester. It's Marc Laniel, base of the right circle. Scoop for Dipietro behind the net. Setting up the power play. Center one knocked away by Ferner. Puck came to the near side, and Frederick will clear to the line. Hurlbutt had it tipped away, and it's out at center ice. 15:40 to go in this one. 7-1 Orlando power play down to 25 seconds. Dipietro for Turgeon, right side. Cuts in, center one. It's a bouncing puck that Bester got a piece of. And Dwayne Joyce steers it out of harm's way. Mike Yo rolled it down, and Ferner will play behind the net. Came over to Duncanson, and he'll just shoot at the length of the ice, and that'll do it for the power play. Goes down the ice, and out of the net Gamble. He'll slow for Hurlbutt. This pass for Kelly Hurt missed him, and it'll go all the way down, and this will be another icing call on the Houston Aeros. As Pat Neaton will go back to play it. They'll bring the face-off back into the Orlando zone.
So that penalty, or that kill by the Orlando Solar Bears, will be their 4th of the night. And the Aeros finding themselves much in the same rut they were in last night. They went 0 for 5 on the power play last night, and tonight again not able to find any seam anywhere. And we're having trouble actually getting the puck deep into the zone, moving it around, but standing up well on the blue line where Orlando, and a couple long errant passes by the Aeros were intercepted and just dumped back down the ice. And the Aeros trying to regroup for tomorrow.
7-1 and a face-off to the left side of Troy Gamble. O'Connor in behind his net. Power play's over. Teams are back at 5 aside, and the Aeros now 0 for 5 on the power play. Marc Lamb chipped one into the Orlando zone. Out of the net, Bester flings it to the line. Not out. Here's a drive, and Bester got a piece of that and steered it into the near side. Donnelly pinching, trying to move it up. Kelly Hurd was there. He takes a bump, and it's finally out at center ice. Dave Barr had it knocked away, but here's a breakaway from McDonough. He's in alone. Deke shoots. Stopped by Gamble. I'll tell you what, I want to get another look at that. I thought that might have been offsides. I think McDonough had the puck behind him.
Well, the rule is if you have control of the puck, you can't put yourself offsides. And I guess the question would be whether McDonough really had control of that puck or not. He pulled it in from behind him, and Gamble makes a really good save. It's a good pass, and yeah, McDonough, I guess you can technically say he had control of it. Therefore, you can't really put yourself offside, as they say. Gamble missed the poke check, but it was enough to throw McDonough off the puck, and Gamble closes his feet real good there and covers up the puck, stopping McDonough on the breakaway. McDonough, I believe, has a goal and 2 assists tonight, and that would have made it 2 goals, but good save by Gamble.
Off the face-off, Aeros have it. Jaques to the neutral zone. Hits the line, steers one right side. Freer trying to cut in. The shot is blocked, and it's jumped on by Frederick. Out at center for Alfie Turcotte, but the Aeros are there to turn it around. Puck goes into the Orlando zone. Brad Tiley trying to steer one near side. Townshend came in, lowered the boom, and Turcotte takes it away. Puck is picked up by the Knights, or by, checking that night score again. It's the Aeros that go back to play it. Arniel out at center. Back to play it, Brad Tiley. Forecheck by Freer. And Laniel is there. 13:48 to go. 7-1 Orlando. Kruppke pushed one ahead for Graeme Townshend. He was taken off the puck by Frederick. Turcotte trying to move one ahead. And Laniel will move it up ice. Laniel hits the line. He ran into Arniel. Here's a shot by Freer. That ricocheted wide of the net. And Townshend back to the line. Laniel winds, shoots right on, stopped. Here's another shot. Bester came up with a marvelous save on Graeme Townshend, and it shot right back down the ice. 13:15 remaining in this third period, and Orlando with a 7-1 lead.
Puck is at center ice, picked up by the Solar Bears. Eisenhut's pass misses Kerry Clark. Hurlbutt goes back to play it. This is going to be icing on the Solar Bears, and they'll bring the faceoff back into the Orlando zone. And now some pushing and shoving, and with all that's going on, we take time out. 7-1, the Solar Bears lead it. We'll have more from the Summit after this. Left side of Alan Bester. 13:04 to go in this one. Eisenhut against Dipietro. Dipietro wins the dog. Kruppke cranks a drive and a blocker save made by Bester. Hurlbutt tried to hold it in. He could not. Kerry Clark got it away. Clark right side across the Aero blue line trying to move in. Yo tapped him along the boards. And the puck knocked away in behind the net. Here's a centering pass. A chance for Dwayne Joyce, but he got clipped with a high stick. Wanted to look right at the referee, Joe Ernst, but Joe Ernst wouldn't make the call. Now Dipietro moved it up and out at center. Hands it over to Slivchenko. Slivchenko over the line, but lost the puck, and the Solar Bears go back. 7-1 Orlando. And we've already told you Atlanta has won 3-0 tonight. Eisenhut across the line. Trying to drop it back. Shakes off a check. Turgeon is there. He'll throw into the far side. Dave Barr in there to loosen it up along the boards. Gives it to Eisenhut. Cuts in a shot block that bounced down to Gamble. He will glove it and hold on with 12-10 remaining. 12-11 remaining in the third. 7-1 Orlando.
So Gamble will likely get the start tomorrow night in Orlando. That would mean he would get the start again. He'd play in 3 games and 3 nights because he did come into this game, into the second period, 3:17 into the game, and Sjerven only had about a period, and like I said, the period in 3 minutes or so. And Gamble has gonna see some ice time. He's gonna have to get a good rest tonight, as he'll likely, like I said, get the start in Orlando. A tough building to win in the Aeros. Haven't won in there this year or any year, because it's the first year Orlando's been in the league. But I tell you what, a tough game coming up tomorrow night for the Aeros.
If there's any consolation, the Solar Bears are 0-3-2 in their last 5 at home. Orlando, though, overall 17-10-3. It's not been home sweet home for these two teams. Puck is shot out at center. Aeros Miles O'Connor gives it back to Kelly Hurt. Sidestep a check, trying to move in across the line. Third right side, dumped it in behind the net. First one there is Marc Lamb. Lamb for Hurd, trying to get in behind the net. And it's lodged away by John Leblanc and moved up and out at center ice. Here comes Hughie McDonough across the line. McDonough cuts in. He's pushed off by O'Connor. Puck goes to the far side, and the Solar Bears take it. Here's a centering pass by LeBlanc. That's intercepted by Houston, and Lamb will clear it. Lamb to the left side at center. Dumped it into Solar Bear territory, and Dreger is back. Dreger. Cross ice pass for Neaton. And that'll be shot the length of the ice. Icing as Laniel will go back and play is whistled down. Aeros next action again tomorrow from Orlando. The only place you'll be able to hear it will be on 950 KPRC. Game time from the arena will be at 4 o'clock. As we take a look at tonight's third period shots on goal. They're sponsored by High-Low Auto Parts. You can get an auto part anywhere, but what you need is High-Low. 33-31, the Solar Bears leading, as our statistician Neil Wilkins doing a good job tonight, handing us our statistics from high atop the Summit press box. Actually, you can't say high atop.
We're about mid-level.
We're pretty, yeah.
Actually, I like these seats better than way up in the press box. You can really see the.
Do you really?
You can feel the action.
Do you really? I like it up high. I like it when you're in Detroit. I like being above the ice. That's just me, and I never was. I always like the different things. Here's a puck and a quick shot stopped by Gamble. Loose puck. Alfie Turcotte trying to fire one in there. Again knocked away. Behind the cage, it was centered, but it came out at center as the Solar Bears are there. Brad Tiley looked it up for Frederick. But now Craig Fisher backhands in. He's been quiet then. He's got 2 assists, but it's not been the classic Craig Fisher kind of game. But that's how Orlando can beat you. They probably will have Marc Beaufait back in the lineup tomorrow, as well as Mike Hartman. And here is a breakaway for Fisher. Just as I say it, Deke shoots, scores. Oh, man. I opened my mouth too soon. Craig Fisher
loudly and promptly on a breakaway. Beats Gamble, and it's 8-1 Orlando.
You think he might have a radio on and listening to our inner arena transmitter? I tell you what, he just said, hey, Adam Gordon, this is what you got. He leads the league in goals at 59, and now he has 60. And right there, gets a good pass right up the middle. He was sneaking around as Turcotte fired one up the middle. He has a lot of room as he comes down, makes a good little shoulder move, and deposits it in the short side on Troy Gamble. 8-1. Right now, if it stands at 8-1, it would be the largest margin that the Aeros have lost by. And I tell you what, this is not good for the Aeros. And right now, this game is wide open for the Orlando Solar Bears as they get the 8th goal of the game.
Here's a chance for Slivchenko. Gives to Dipietro. His shot went wide of the net. Duncanson chipped it up the boards. Couldn't get it out of there. Kruppke had that knocked away. Here's a puck that's pushed up but not out. Here's a quick shot. Drizzled away. Dipietro base of the left circle. Give it to Slivchenko. Trying to wind one in there. Slivchenko behind the net. Worked on by Eisenhut. Slivchenko wheeling, dealing, looking in front for Dipietro. Gives to Yo too far. Slivchenko's got it base of the right circle. Now a quick shot. Cranked up and over the glass and out of play. And it's a souvenir at 9:47 to go. Third period, 8-1 Solar Bears.
You know, a lot of people wonder what's going through a player's mind at this point, and it's not usually too good of a feeling. You know that the chances of coming back in this game are slim and none, and Slim just walked out the door. And it's really tough mentally to stay in a game like this. And as you saw right there, they're down 7-1 and give up a breakaway to Craig Fisher, the leading goal scorer in the league, and he promptly puts it in the net and makes it 8-1. Dave Tippett's going to have a lot of tape, looking at a lot of tape tonight. He probably didn't get a lot of sleep last night because he's really the kind of guy that will sit in the. He'll probably leave the rink tonight around midnight or
he
around,
may not.
Or he may not leave. He might, and then he'll go home and get up early, come back to the rink and start reviewing some more. So he's got a lot of work as far as Dave Tippett's concerned, and he'll have to transfer some of that knowledge he learns from that right to the players as they go to Orlando tomorrow night.
Here is Conroy cutting in, centered one, that's pushed away. And it's jumped on by Neaton. Now the puck given to Conroy, trying to make his move around Eisenhut. That's chipped away. Conroy worked one in front. Here's Kelly Hurd with a shot right on. Bester makes the save, and he will hold on. The Aeros have had very little chances, and the ones that they've had, Bester's made a couple of good saves, maybe 3 or 4 good ones. But other than that, the Aeros just have not been able to get the shots on goal. When they've had their scoring chances, they've either missed the net or Bester's made the save. And the Aeros right now just are stymied by this Solar Bear Hockey Club. And like you say, I think what Dave Tippett will probably do is look at the game tape tonight, get everything put together, and then it's a 7:30 flight tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it's an early one for the boys tomorrow morning. They'll have a good sleep tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, it's a bit of a trip. And you know what? Bester hasn't really been tested that much. He's been tested on the quantity side, but there haven't been a lot of quality rebound shots or stuff like that.
It's not going to be that great of a sleep because it's an early game. Remember, 5 o'clock start as a shot came on toward Alan Bester, but McDonough got in front of it, and Dave Barr moves out at center ice. Pat Neaton through the neutral zone, hits the line, gives to Leblanc. That's knocked away. O'Connor's got it back. Miles O'Connor in his own zone with 9:05 to go.
A couple guys didn't really like the fact that they had 2 weeks where they had a whole week off, and as the icing is probably going to be called on this play, then they wave it off, so they're going to let them play. But you know, they didn't like the fact that they had 2 weeks off, and then of course a lot of games in a short period of time. It's kind of tough on the old system.
His puck is picked up by O'Connor, and we'll take time out after the icing call. 8-1 Orlando, Saturday night on ice. Houston Aeros want you for a group outing. Bring a group of 20 or more friends and you'll receive a discount on tickets, a welcome at the game, merchandise discounts, and a chance to win great prizes twice a year in our group sweepstakes. You can also bring a group of 42 people to the game on the Aero bus. For information, call 627-AERO. 8-1 Orlando, 8:45 to go. Marc Freer in the face-off circle talking to Alfie Turcotte as they get ready to joust to the circle. Freer wins the draw, snapped it back to the left side. Jaques. Steve Jaques with a quick shot. Glove save made by Bester. Puck picked up by Todd Richards. They'll move it up the left side. And out at center ice, it's Joe Frederick, but knocked away by Laniel. Fired it into the Orlando zone. Alan Bester knocked it down. And Tiley goes back to play it. Here is Frederick. Bumped it along the wall. It'll come back to the line. Jaques, well, they say he didn't hold it in, but it doesn't matter. It's Fisher. Center ice. In across the line. That's offside. They'll bring the face-off back to center.
Offside is against Orlando.
The Orlando Solar Bears still showing a bit of speed on that last play as Fisher picks up the puck, and in my mind it looks like they're not done, but the Orlando Solar Bears have really laid a whooping, a good old-fashioned one, as Craig Fisher gets a goal and 2 assists so far tonight. It's an 8-1 lead with 8 minutes remaining. A lot of time remaining in this game to have a lead like that. Right now, I think the Aeros just want to get this one over with and sort of collect their thoughts, if you will.
Puck is in the Houston zone. Marc Laniel, forecheck by Eisenhut. And it's steered out at center ice. Fear pass to the right side for Graeme Townshend. Todd Richards goes back to play it. Richards reversed one up the boards. Duncanson worked one off the wall. Jaques pinching in there. They're skate to skate in the corner. Richards giving Fear good work over in the far corner and play halt with 7:51 to go. The Aeros, after tomorrow, they'll come back to Houston and then leave first thing Wednesday to go to Atlanta. They'll play Atlanta on Thursday from the Omni. And I'm not even going to say it again. You know it. Houston, Atlanta. Aeros trying to catch the Knights for that final playoff spot. And then Saturday they're in Cincinnati. So it just doesn't get easy at this point. Every game is so crucial.
And then when they come home, guess who they face again?
The mighty Solar Bears.
Again. So they have the Solar Bears 3 times out of their next few games here. And hopefully the Aeros won't see what they saw tonight, and that is 8 goals.
Here's a shot right on. Bester to the save. Puck came in front. It was knocked away. And a battle for the puck gets jumped on by the Orlando Solar Bears. Kerry Clark steered one out at center. Laniel will go back to play as he's forechecked by Eisenhut. Laniel gives to Jaques. And it's out at center ice. Dipietro trying to chase one down. Eisenhut is there, and he'll fire one ahead. Now it is Duncanson along the left side. Duncanson turning left wing boards, lets a shot go. That got by Gamble to the corner. Joyce flipped it in behind it. It came out in front, and Troy Gamble will cover up and hold on with 7:13 to go in the third. 8-1 Solar Bears.
So Gamble freezing that puck on that play. I'm sure he'll freeze most of the things he sees that come around the net at this point in the game.
While we've got a moment here, let's update you on scores in the IHL. As we told you, Atlanta getting goals from Reggie Savage, Peter White, and Stan Drulia. Blank Michigan tonight 3-0, so their 5-game winning streak over. Cincinnati defeats Fort Wayne 5-2. Chris Bergeron had a goal in that hockey game. Chicago defeats Indianapolis in Indy. Rob Brown, Doug Barral, Brian Wiseman getting the goals. And Peoria in the end of the second period leading Kansas City 2-1. We'll give you some other scores here in a minute. Hurlbut trying to bring the puck over the blue line. It's knocked away. LeBlanc steers one to the right side out of the reach of Hurlbut. Dave Barr spun off by Hurlbut. Here comes Kelly Hurd left side. Hoisted high in the air. It'll bounce into the far side. Conroy goes in there. It came over a pass. Here's a chance. The shot by Lamb. Stop Bester. Bang away at the rebound. And Bester somehow comes up with a save through traffic. How did he see that second shot from Al Conroy? Wow.
I think it was Hubie McDonough that made the save.
Maybe. Puck came down. Here is Dave Barr. Center. The shot. Score. John LeBlanc. 9-1 Orlando.
I'll tell you what, Hubie McDonough has done it everywhere on the ice. He makes that save, I think, as he dove across the crease. The play comes all the way back down to the other end, and finally the puck, it's a 2-on-1. 2-on-1 from behind the net as it's fed out front. LeBlanc makes no mistake about it as he jams it home, and he blasts one upstairs. McDonough doing a good job at both ends as Barr feeds it out front, and it's LeBlanc puts one off of the shoulder of Gamble and up into the net. John LeBlanc gets his 20th goal of the season, and I believe assists will go to McDonough and Barr.
Here's a shot by Fisher, and Campbell makes the save. So Fisher comes right back, and the Aeros have never given up 10 goals. But boy, they almost did it there with 6:26 to go. 9-1 Solar Bears. Quickly, other scores in the IHL. Utah leading Vegas after 1, 2-1. 1-1 Detroit at Phoenix after 1. And midway in the second period, the LA Ice Dogs 2, San Francisco Spiders 1. Puck is at center ice. Townshend dumped the puck into the Orlando zone. It bounces to Alan Bester. He'll take no chances and hold on with 6:17 left. Oh boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next home game will be.
It's probably been a while since Gamble or anyone on the Houston Aeros have seen a score as lopsided as this. As the Aeros just didn't seem to put it together tonight, and it just maybe seemed to culminate from what happened yesterday. From the second period on, just not really looked like there's enough intensity, and like you said before, not winning enough of those little battles, as it looks like it's going to be an icing call on Orlando.
Puck goes down, and Gordon Donnelly plays it, and that'll be icing with 6:06 to go. And you know, it's games like this you just forget about. I mean, and that's the big thing. I think the big thing, Dave Tippett's going to look at the tape. He'll go over what's wrong. But, you know, at this point, I don't think he really needs to say anything to the guys. I mean, the guys know what's going on out there. And like you said, there'll be some soul searching. I mean, these guys are professionals. They've played the game for a long time. And, you know, I think they know what they've got to do. And tomorrow's a new day. They got to put this thing behind them. They've got some hockey games to win. They're 9 points back. Here's Donnelly, left side slap shot blocked. Freer trying to chase it down the corner. Dreger spins it away, and Craig Fisher smoked it out at center ice. And we've got a charging call coming up, I think, to Miles O'Connor.
And I think it was on Dreger, if I'm not mistaken, who got in a fight with Kruppke earlier. And here we go. There's going to be some action, and you know, we talked about the potential of something happening just because tomorrow the Aeros will see the Orlando Solar Bears in Orlando, and so O'Connor sending maybe a little bit of a message as Dreger's trying to pull away from the linesman. We might not, and the linesman takes him down. A 2-point takedown for the linesman on Dreger as Dreger tries to get back into the scrum and does not. But O'Connor, like I said, O'Connor into that scrum there, creating something as maybe sending a message, like I said, for tomorrow night. And I tell you what, Adam, you might see some rough stuff tomorrow night on the ice as guys become a little more brave even then in their home building, so there might be even some more paybacks.
We'll sort everything out when we return. Timeout on the ice, 6 minutes to go. 9-1 Solar Bears, Saturday night on ice. Two minutes up on the board right now. Well, they've got it up to Curtis Hunt, but we know it's
there it is, 44.
They're 44. They had 4. I'm kidding, of course. And that'll be to Miles O'Connor. Sylvain Turgeon will serve the penalty.
Miles O'Connor got, I think, a 10-minute misconduct on that play.
Yeah, and he's done for the night. And Joe Ernst and the linesmen give them a lot of credit. That could have turned ugly, and they did a fine job. And like you said, with the referees tomorrow will have their hands full.
Well, certainly. It's funny. One of the linesmen, I'm not sure which one it was, but I think it was
that might be Frank Prestigiovanni, who you're looking at right now on UPN 20.
I think it was him as he grabbed Dreger, because Dreger's trying to get back into the scrum, and he gave a 2-point takedown there. A nice wrestling move. He threw him to the ice, and that was it. Good job by the linesman on that one.
Hulk Hogan would be proud.
Yes.
It is.
I thought he was going to put him in the camel clutch for a second.
Oh, no. Here's a puck out at center. Actually had him in a little bit of a headlock for a second. Puck is in behind. Gamble will slow. And it is shot out at center and all the way back down into Orlando territory. 5:30 to go. Solar Bears, by the way, on the power play here. Here is Neil Eisenhut. He'll move it through the neutral zone, across the line, dump the puck in. Now Dipietro trying to clear it. Todd Richards at the top of the slot. Right side, Tiley. Scooped it along. It takes a hop off the boards, and Yo is there. At what point, if you're the Aeros, do you think they're running up the score? Heads up, this is coming towards us.
A little more oomph on that, Yosi, and we'd have got a souvenir.
Never had it. All my years of doing hockey, I've never even come close. But
well, you said you like those press boxes. Of course, you'll never get one up there.
But I mean, at this point, when do you start thinking that the Solar Bears are running it up a little bit here?
Well, I'm sure they're just. I mean, going forward, like you said yourself, they're coming off a 3-game losing streak, and you know, they want to try and get their confidence back. And I'm sure that on those losing streaks, you're not really worried too much about. On those losing streaks, you're not worried too much. You don't get too much scoring, and so right now I think some of the boys think it's point night and want to really pad their stats a little bit. A lot of times players will do that, you know.
No, and you know, give credit to Orlando. They were down 3 here, as or I should say 3 in a row they'd lost, and they came out and wanted this game badly. 9-1. They're leading it. 4:52 to go in this one, and they're on the power play still. McDonough shoots the puck into the Aeros zone. Campbell's one I feel for because he's now 5 goals against. He worked so hard to get his goals against under 4. I don't know if this will do it. If this will get it back over 4. It's tough because your goals against average really blossoms even bigger when you don't play a full hockey game. He came into the second period, and
I don't think this will really throw him over the top. He's at 3.72 coming into tonight's game, but it'll put him up back close to it, and I'm not too sure he'll enjoy that. But yeah, you're right. When you play 2/3 of a game, it really hurts it.
Freer comes in now, short-handed, had a poke checked away by Dwayne Joyce. 12 seconds left in the power play for Orlando. Alfie Turcotte at center. Works one up the left side and across the line. Here's a chance to the left wing. The shot went wide of the net. Jumped on by the Solar Bears. Penalty is over. Teams are at 5 aside. Aeros trying to advance it. Here comes Freer with Turgeon, and he ran into Arniel. Oh boy. Now the puck jumped up on Arniel. He'll take it down the right side. Arniel gives to Turgeon. Lets his shot go, and that went wide of the net. Freer for Turgeon behind the net. He battles with Alfie Turcotte. And the puck sails up over the glass and out of play. I do want to make one quick note for our radio listeners tonight. Because of the early departure and everything, all the equipment needing to get loaded, there will be no post-game show tonight on the radio side of things. You'll have your regularly scheduled programming, so we will not take your calls. Depending on our situation in Orlando, when I look at it, we may have a call-in show tomorrow, so stay tuned tomorrow and find out. Face-off right side of Alan Bester. 3.5 left. And the Aeros will drop 2 in a row. Left side Jaques. Moves it down along the boards. Steers it for Dipietro. Stuffed it in there. Bester save. Bang away at it. And Bester makes the save. And now Yo getting in there a little bit with Turcotte. Pushing and shoving a little bit. I'll tell you what. For a 9-1 game and 3:25 to go, there's still a few fans here. And I think these fans just want to stick around and see if anything explosive happens.
Yeah, explosive, yes, in the fight department, I'm sure. And as the Aeros push and shove around that net, Dipietro tries to jam one right on the inside of the post, and he's not successful as Bester's there to make the pad save. And after that, it just really jams up in front as they jab away at it. And you know that the Orlando Solar Bears are going to be protecting their goaltender, Alan Bester, who has really played a strong game tonight, only allowing 1 goal on 30-some shots. And you very well might see him again tomorrow night, or at least hear from him, because you'll be hearing him on 950 KPRC. You won't. Yeah, it isn't a TV game, but as the Aeros go offside there.
Bester will go to 3-2 since returning from the Dallas Stars. He had a neat situation. I think his salary was based on how many points he got.
I think he had a lower base salary, and then he got like $1,500 for every point.
I heard it was $2,500 for every point.
Okay, well, it might have been. That's a pretty good deal.
A win is $5,000. Not bad. And I think he won he won actually 2 or 3 games, I think, while he was up there.
Yeah, so I think he made a certain base salary, and then on top of that made so much per point, or as far as a bonus is concerned. So I guess the motivation there.
Not bad at all as the puck comes up and over and out of play. Which is me, I think I get 10 cents for every word.
No wonder why you talk so much.
Yeah, Greener, you're not going to get much more.
I get 10 cents for every word you say that I don't.
Yes.
So Bester coming out with a pretty strong game, and like I said, Legrand has played against the Aeros, and Legrand has had success against the Aeros, but I think what you will see is Bester. Legrand is a 2.33 average and has won all his 3 starts against the Aeros, so you might see him tomorrow night, but Bester's played such a strong game, who knows what Kurt Fraser will do.
Puck goes into the corner. Marc Lamb trying to move it along. Kelly Hurd gives it to Al Conroy, and he'll move it up ice. Conroy dumped the puck into the Orlando zone. Jumped on by Hurd, trying to cut in there. Pat Deaton pushed in there by Al Conroy. We've got a penalty coming up to the Houston Aeros. A delayed call, and there is the whistle. It's going to be a cross check, and the Solar Bears will go on the power play once again.
I think it was Marc Lamb, the culprit in this situation, or maybe even Conroy. Conroy came in there and I think put a little bit too much of the stick into Neaton along the boards. And I tell you what, I mean, they're losing 9-1, but the Aeros are still sending a few messages, and they need to do that. Tomorrow night's going to be a big game. Actually, it was more of an elbow than a cross check, but it really wasn't that bad of an elbow at that. But still, trying to defuse the situation, referee Joe Ernst decides to send Conroy to the box. So with 2:25 remaining in the third period, 2 minutes of that, if they don't score, will be taken up on the power play. It's 9-1 Solar Bears. You said the Aeros have never given up 10 goals. With the power play for the Solar Bears tonight, you might just see that the way they're playing.
Here they come, up and out at center. Todd Richards will hit the Aero blue line. Richards cuts to the right side, flies a pass down low looking for Duncanson. Jammed up the fireboards. Arniel trying to clear it, cannot. Tiley held it in there. It came to the line. It's right back out at center ice. Todd Richards played for Las Vegas last year. Gives it to Eisenhut, goes into the Aeros zone. Gord Donnelly waits to gather it in, and it's pushed away by Jaques out of the zone. Yes, just barely. Solar Bears regroup with 1:45 to go in the hockey game. 1:20 left in the Conroy minor. Todd Richards up at the left side at center. Hits the line and says, oh, no, can't do anything there. We'll regroup back at our own blue line. Richards, forecheck by Dipietro. He'll bank one off the boards, and Dave Barr will move it up and out at center ice. Left side, Duncanson. Turn one down to the left side for Barr, getting set on the power play. Barr waiting for the line for Ferner, winding, shooting, puck spanked just wide of the net. Barr gathers it in. It comes back to the line for Joyce with 1:10 to go in the game and 46 seconds left to Conroy. Puck is knocked away, and we're going to get a fight as Duncanson and Jaques look at each other. Here we go. Duncanson and Jaques. Jaques trying to get in there. Duncanson's got him locked up, and then Jaques missed with a right, and a big uppercut may have scored for Duncanson. Clutching and grabbing going on now. And then an overhand right by Jaques may have scored. Duncanson trying to get one free. There's a big right by Jaques that may have clipped a little bit of Duncanson, and then down they go.
Well, this is just the beginning of probably what you'll see tomorrow night, Adam, in the arena in Orlando, as Duncanson and Jaques go at it, get rid of a few frustrations. Hey, that's probably why a lot of these fans stayed around, as you see a lot of them standing to get a better view at the festivities on the ice.
I'd say of the 12,000, there's still about 5,000 or 6,000 still here.
This is how the fight started in front of the net. Jaques giving a little face wash to Duncanson, and Duncanson punches him, and there they go. And definitely instigated by Jaques, and Duncanson finally goes, okay, we'll dance, and they do. Hey, it's dance night. It's a Aero Stock 2, and so as our theme was maybe a little bit of a dance, we see a couple dances tonight, and that one with Duncanson and Jaques.
Well, the penalties being handed out as Joe Ernst, our referee, setting everything up. There's 44 seconds left to Conroy. 2 minutes go up to Jaques. I'm sure that's the instigator. Now, correct me if I'm not wrong. In the final 2 minutes,
that might be a game.
He has to, I think, sit out a game.
Yeah, game misconduct.
No, I'm saying an automatic one-game suspension.
Game suspension. I guess I should have worded that a little bit better. Yeah, you're right. It could be that wouldn't be considered a match penalty, would it?
No, but let's pick up the call.
5 minutes more fighting. For the Houston Aeros, number 3, Steve Jaques. 2 minutes more instigator.
Yeah,
5 minutes.
he got the instigator. So if my rules
and a game misconduct.
Yeah. But the new rule is if you get a game if you get a 2-minute instigating penalty in the last 2 minutes, you are automatically, I think, suspended a game. Do not hold me to that, but I think that's the new rule in the IHL.
I thought it was just automatic game misconduct, but
it is at any point in the game. But if it's in the last couple of minutes,
yeah, you're right. I think you're right on that statement. And so we could have lost Jaques for tomorrow night, and we'll see. We'll have to see. If you listen to the game tomorrow night on 950 KPRC, you will know, because I'm sure Adam will let you know all about it.
Face-off will be in the circle to the left side of Troy Gamble. Sticks down, drop of the puck. Aeros win the draw. It's pushed up by Arniel, and it's out at center ice. 1 minute left.
Last minute of play in the third period.
Joyce at center. Worked it over to Dave Barr, right side, back to John Leblanc. Came to the line. Here's the shot by LeBlanc. Hammered wide. It's a two-man advantage right now for the Solar Bears. Joyce, top of the slot, getting set. Lets the shot go. Gamble the save. Puck came in. Here's a shot. Score! Craig Fisher, and there it is. 10 of them. And they will stay on the power play because the penalty to Conroy had not expired, so it's now 10-1 Orlando.
So Craig Fisher with 2 goals and 2 assists tonight. And wow, what he has really been almost non-existent all night long. And I tell you, he comes, doesn't score maybe the important goals, but he has scored the important goals against the Aeros before. And tonight gets themselves 4 points as a good hard shot from the point by Joyce. It's feathered across by McDonough, and McDonough, who's had an unbelievably strong game. He's even made a couple saves in the crease, and a good save by Gamble, but no one took McDonough, no one took Fisher, who was at the side of the net, and he flops one over the arm of Gamble. It is 10-1, a score that the Aeros won't soon forget.
Puck is shot in. And the Solar Bears will turn it around on their own end. Bring it out at center by Ferner. And he'll gently roll it into the Aeros zone. Conroy goes back. He and Joyce collide in there. Lamb will turn with 15 seconds left. The Solar Bears are going to finish this game on the power play. Ferner goes back to play it with 8 seconds left. The final score will be 10-1. I don't know what else can be said. Alan Bester played well when he had to. He didn't get tested, but the Aeros, boy, this was one they're gonna have to regroup and get ready for a huge contest tomorrow as they take on this same Solar Bear Hockey Club. And Dave Tippett, he's got a tough decision. I mean, quite frankly, Troy Gamble didn't play very well at all tonight. He didn't get a lot of help, but both Sjerven and Gamble really struggled. I mean, this is maybe one of the worst outings we've seen from Gamble since the new year. And for Grant Sjerven, he struggled as well. So if you're Dave Tippett, who do you go with tomorrow?
Well, I guess being a former goaltender, I'm going to defend both of them. But you know, Sjerven obviously hadn't played in a month, and I tell you what, being away from the competition of the game is not good for a goaltender at all. And you saw what happened. He wasn't as sharp as he normally is, and the Orlando Solar Bears were able to pick apart a bit. And as far as Gamble's concerned, well, he came into a tough situation.
All right, 10-1 Orlando. That's the final. We will wrap things up right after this.